Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto wants revenge on his family part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. It has been 4 years, 4 long horrible years since that day. Thought 16-year-old medical ninja Sakura Haruno jumped from tree branch to tree branch. She was just a few steps behind her sensei and team leader Kakashi Hatake. Behind her was her new team, Hinata, Kiba and Shino. She had joined their team because all the members of Team 7 minus her were either dead or a traitor to the village. Why Sasuke, why did you have to kill Naruto? Thought Sakura as she remembered back to when she had found out her teammate and Crush had killed her other teammate. Flashback. The 12-year-old Sakura walked into the Hokage's office. It was strange to be called into the office of the Hokage since she was just a genin. She walked in to find Kakashi, Shizen standing on their side of a sitting Tsunade. You called for me, Lady Hokage? Asked Sakura. Yes, said Tsunade as she lowered her head. We have a report on the mission to save Sasuke. So are they back yet? Asked Sakura. No, said Tsunade as she looked down at her desk. Sakura finally noticed the 2 headbands. She knew the 2 headbands, one with a slash though it was Sasuke and the blood-stained one was Naruto's. What happened? Asked Sakura. We aren't sure, but at the moment it looks like Sasuke killed Naruto, said Tsunade as Sakura's eyes widened. What? Asked Sakura. There was sign of a battle on the border with the sound and I found a pool of blood. The blood type matches Naruto's, said Kakashi. But no bodies, then they can be alive, said Sakura. It was too much blood for a single person to lose and live, said Kakashi, and my ninja's dogs were able to pick up Sasuke's scent leaving the field, but the rain washed away most of the path. Naruto and Sasuke ran into the battle alone and only Sasuke walked out, said Tsunade. I just can't understand why Sasuke-kun would do this, said Sakura, only to have Tsunade slam her fist down. Sasuke? You are worried about Sasuke? Yelled Tsunade. Your Sasuke-kun killed your teammate Naruto, and you're worried about Sasuke? Lady Tsunade, said Shizen as Sakura just looked at her. No, she needs to hear this, snapped Tsunade as she remembered the reports of Naruto's promise to Sakura. Naruto died for you, don't you see that? Sakura just hung her head in shame. He loved you and you only care about the guy who killed him, said Tsunade. How can you live with yourself? Tsunade, yelled Shizen. I can't, said Sakura as Tsunade looked at her. If I had been stronger, then I could have stopped it all from happening. Then there is only one thing to do, you will become my student, said Tsunade as Sakura looked at her. Naruto would have wanted you to finish his mission and bring Sasuke back. End flashback. Sasuke, I am only bringing you back because it is what Naruto-kun would have done, thought Sakura. Failing in your first mission is not a good way to start, said inner Sakura. I know, but we were too late. The Akatsuki killed Gaara and then took off, thought Sakura as she looked up at the giant white bird that flew just ahead of them. But I will not let them get away. As she thought that, a line of bombs went off just in front of the bird. She looked up just in time to see the 2 figures standing on the bird to be joined by a third. The third figure quickly knocked the other 2 off the bird before jumping off a second before the bird exploded. What the? Asked Kiba. Hinata, can you see what is going on? Asked Kakashi as Hinata activated her Byakugan. Yes, the 2 Akatsuki members are on one side of Courage and an unknown is on the other. They appear to be staring each other down, explained Hinata. An ally? Asked Kiba. We can't be sure about that. It could be one of Orochimaru people, said Shino. If it is, then we will have to capture them, said Kakashi before hitting his radio. Guy, how long? It will be a while, said Guy back as he went back to fighting his perfect clone. Alright, be aware that a new player is on the field and has engaged the Akatsuki, said Kakashi. Got you, said Guy as he cut his link. Let's hurry, said Kakashi as they kicked it up a notch. They arrived on the battlefield just in time. So you're the unknown ninja who has been attacking our bases, said the blonde-haired member of the Akatsuki. Yes, said the new man. He was tall and dressed from head to toe in black. He had a black traveling cloak that ran from his shoulders straight down to his black boots. He had a black hood up covering his hair and forehead. He must have had a jester of some kind on his face because it was nothing but black and with 2 glowing red animal eyes. What is your name? I need to know who dies at the hands of my art, said the blonde-haired man. You may call me the Black Fox if you wish, said the man. Why have you been attacking us? Asked the puppet man, Sasori. It is my sensei's wish that I destroy all of the Akatsuki, said the Black Fox. Who is this guy? Asked Kiba as he looked at the man. I don't know, said Kakashi. Well, your sensei has no idea who he is messing with, said Sasori. You don't know, said the Black Fox. Well, you're not that smart if you just stood there and didn't notice that you were surrounded by my art, said Deidara as hundreds of his spider's clay bombs appeared around the fox. Now die. With that, a large explosion happened as all the small bombs joined together into one powerful one. That was too easy, said Deidara. Don't celebrate too soon, said a voice as Deidara looked up just in time to see the Black Fox coming down sword in hand. How in the world? Asked Deidara as his partner's metal tail came flying up, hitting the fox in the chest. He dodged your so-called art, said Sasori. So-called art, snapped Deidara as the Black Fox landed on the other side, a small amount of blood running down his cloak, his hand covering the wound. No matter, the poison should be taking effect soon, said Sasori as suddenly the fox started laugh. No, it will not. See, I am immune to all poisons, said the fox. He moved his hand only to show flesh, untouched by any wound. What? Asked Sasori. All you managed to do was to ruin a perfectly good cloak, said the man as he took off his cloak to show. He was dressed in a long black coat that hugged his sides. It ran down his entire arm before stopping at his black gloves. The cloak stopped at the top of his boots, which came up 3/4 the way to his knees. The boots themselves were black with metal running along the bottom and the tip. He had black pants with a sliver strip running down the sides. He had a dark gray shirt. His face was still hidden by a hood, and that just to. Still hiding your face? Asked Sasori. So are you, said the Black Fox. Well, it is time for you to die, said Sasori as he opened his mouth and dozens of needles came flying out. The fox began moving with a strange mix of ease and grace to avoid the razor-sharp needles. He was dodging it so well he actually had his hands in his pockets, as if he was bored. How is he doing that? Asked Deidara. I have my ways, answered the fox as moved out of the way of another attack. However, I am getting bored with this. Well, so am I, said Deidara as he pointed toward the sky. Out of a large cloud came 3 of the clay birds. Each came swapping down, forcing the fox to jump back as each one exploded where he was just a second ago. When the last one hit, a line of needles came flying out of the smoke. The fox ducked, but he was too slow. The needle flew in the space between his hood and his head, ripping his hood apart and breaking his justu. For a moment nothing happened as the fox sat on one knee, his face looking at the ground. Golden blonde locks were now free from the hood that had kept them hidden. Well, now we get to see your face, said Deidara. You shouldn't have done that, said the fox as he stood up. Sakura's eyes widened as did everyone else. They saw his face. His wild blonde hair framed his red eyes. However, the thing that stood out the most were the wicker marks on each of his checks. Naruto? Asked Sakura as the Black Fox turned and looked at her. Then for a brief second in front of everyone those red eyes turned to sky blue before turning back to red. How can this be? That is Naruto-kun, asked Hinata as she fought the need to faint. How indeed? Said Shino. We have to back him up, said Kiba as he pulled a kunai. Your help will not be required, said a new voice as the others looked up to a higher tree branch only to see a large fox maybe the size of Akamaru sitting there looking down. Its jet black fur and somehow darker eyes sent chills down the ninja's spine. Who are you? Asked Kiba as he bared his teeth, wondering how he couldn't have smelled the fox before. My name is Saito, and Naruto and I are a team, said Saito with a small smile showing off his razor-sharp white fangs. And he has asked to do this alone. How can we believe you? Asked Sakura. Your trust is not needed, but if you should try to get in our way, I will have no problem ending your life, said Saito. There are 5 of us, 6 if you count Akamaru. We can take you, yelled Kiba. Foolish dog boy, not knowing when he is outmatched, said Saito with a grin. Tell me, do you not see anything different about me, something you wouldn't normally see in a fox? You talkin' a lot bigger, said Kiba, causing Saito to roll his eyes. Beside that, said Saito. You have 3 tails, said Shino as everyone looked, and he was right, Saito did have 3 tails. Very good, bug boy, said Saito. I am not a normal fox, I am a demon fox. With a rank of 3 tails. That is still 6 tails below the 9 tails, and we humans killed him, snapped Kiba. My father is far from dead, said Saito with a grin as the ninja's eyes widened. What? Asked Sakura. You heard me, I am the son of Kyubi 9-tailed fox, lord of all demon foxes, said Saito, and Naruto is his student. His student? Asked Sakura, unaware to everyone else the pieces were coming into place for Kakashi. The Kyubi must have taken him somewhere to train him, but for what? Thought Kakashi he wouldn't just do that for free, he would want something. The only thing he wanted was to be free of Naruto. Could Naruto have freed him in order to be trained by him? Saito, you don't have to tell them everything, said Naruto flatly. Also, you don't have to scare them shitless. But it's so much fun when I do, laughed Saito. I would bet you wanted your hood to come off. Yeah, maybe a little, laughed Naruto back. So you are a Jinchuriki? Asked Sasori. I was, but not anymore, said Naruto as the Akatsuki looked at him. However, because of my past as one, it is one of the reasons why I am going to kill you. It is one of the reasons why I am going to kill you, said Naruto as red chakra engulfed him and his sword turned bright red. You are just a kid, you can't stand up against my art, said Deidara as he reached into his pockets. Only if I wasn't low on clay. You shouldn't be so worried about art, instead you should be worried about your life, said Naruto as he bolted across the ground towards Sasori. The puppet master had no time to move before Naruto's sword ripped through his body. Sasori! Yelled Deidara as a figure jumped out of the remains of the puppet. Standing there was a young redhead. You actually got me out of my outer body, said Sasori. You now see my real form. You're a redhead? Asked Deidara. Shut up, said Sasori as he pulled a scroll. I didn't think this would be needed, but you leave me no choice. With that, a large puff of smoke filled the air as another large puppet filled the air. The third Kazekage, stated Naruto. So you know I have this ultimate puppet, said Sasori. But it is still a puppet. Kill the master and the puppet is useless, said Naruto. Like you could kill Sasori, said Deidara. I already have, said Naruto as a sword ran through Sasori's back and came out his front. How in the world? Asked Sasori as he turned to see a second Naruto standing there with a sword in hand. When you cut my hood, I made a clone, said Naruto. Also, I knew about your heart being your only weak spot. My spies know a lot about you. Deidara, get out of here, ordered Sasori as Deidara stood there. Go. All right, said Deidara as he formed another bird and took flight. How could someone bring down Sasori so easily? So today is the day I die, said Sasori. I wouldn't be so sure about that, Sasori of the red sand, whispered Naruto as he formed a hand sign. Sasori's eyes widened as Naruto's sword and a scroll hanging around his belt turned for a second white for a second before returned to its normal state. Naruto pulled his sword out before kicking Sasori's body to the ground. Well done, Naruto, said Saito as he appeared on the ground beside Naruto. With a little more training you can carry out the mission. Naruto? Asked Sakura as the leaf ninjas landed around him. Saito, said Naruto as Saito nodded. Naruto, we are talking to you, yelled Kiba as Naruto raised his hand and formed a hand signs. It is too soon, said Naruto as he disappeared in a flash of red light. Naruto, yelled Sakura as she reached out to stop him, but he was gone. Kakashi, did you see where Naruto went? Asked Sakura as she looked around the area. Sakura, that was a transportation just that he could be almost anywhere, explained Kakashi. Why would he leave? Asked Hinata. I mean, we finally see him for the first time in years and he just leaves. He said it's too soon, said Shino. He must not have been planning on showing himself to us yet. But why? Asked Hinata. Why would he even fake his death? He is different, said Kiba. He isn't the same person who left with us on the mission to get Sasuke back. What is up with that red chakra? Asked Hinata. Nothing good, said Kakashi. Let's head back. We need to bring Gaara's body back to the Sand Village. From there we can report back to the Hokage. Meanwhile, Naruto was jumping from tree branch to tree branch, his black cloak fluttering behind him. Naruto, what are you doing? Asked Saito as he appeared beside him. There is one more thing I have to do before heading back, said Naruto. What? Asked Saito. We were going after their base in the area, and they are only in their bases when they are sealing everything. explained Naruto. They may have just finished sealing Gaara. I see, it is a risk, but it is your choice, said Saido. They already know I am back, so might as well show them another one of my abilities, said Naruto. As they appear by a river, the trick will be finding it. The scouts were not that clear on its location, only that it is by a river. Yeah, the scout got his directions messed when he had to run away from a wolf attack, explained Saido as he and Naruto jumped down onto the water. Let's head down river, that is the way the leaf ninjas came from, said Naruto. Works for me, said Saido as the two headed down river. Meanwhile, one of the elders of the Sand Village, Lady Chio, looked down at the dead Kazekage. A few minutes ago his brother and sister along with a group of sand ninja had shown up. Gaara, we were too late, said Temari as she lowered her head in shame. If only I was strong enough to stop them from even taking you from the village in the first place, said Kakuro as he looked at his brother. The leaf is back, yelled a sand ninja as Sakura and other ninjas landed nearby the gathered sand ninjas. Please tell me you killed the people who did this to our brother, yelled Temari. Sasori of the Red Sand is dead, said Kakashi as Lady Chio looked up at the news that her grandson was now gone from the world. The other got away, said Sakura as Team Guy landed nearby. It is good to see you alive, Sakura-chan, yelled Lee, only to be elbowed by Tenten. Lee, this isn't the time to try to get Sakura to go out with you, said Tenten. Right, said Lee. How were you able to defeat Sasori? Asked Lady Chio. They didn't, said a new voice as everyone spun around. There, standing on the water, was a tall man dressed in black with a large black fox standing beside him. I did. Naruto, yelled Sakura as all the leaf ninjas and the few sand ninjas who knew of him eyes widened. Naruto? Asked Lee, stunned to see his friend back from the dead. Yes, now stand aside, ordered Naruto. If you came to steal our leader's body, then we will not allow it, yelled a sand ninja as she got between Gaara's body and the newcomer. It's okay, Matsuri, said Temari. What do you plan to do, Naruto? You will see, said Naruto as he walked forward. Everyone giving him a wide space, he stopped right in front of Gaara's body. No one speaks or else you will mess this up, ordered Naruto as he pulled his sword out and stabbed Gaara's body clear through. What are you doing? Yelled more than a few sand ninjas. Calm down, ordered Naruto as he started to run thought hand signs so fast that even Kakashi couldn't keep track. Finally he stopped as the sword turned bright red as the template in the Akatsuki base dropped down so low that everyone could see their breaths. The stage is set now for the judge. What are you talking about, Naruto? Asked Sakura. Who is this judge? I am, said a whispered like voice from the darkness of the cave. A sense of dread and fear filled everyone but Naruto and Saido as they stood. Why have you called upon me, Naruto? For you to bring your judgment, Todd, spoke Naruto to the darkness. Very well, said the voice as an image began to form in the darkness. The figure was dressed in a wholly black cloak, but you couldn't see what was under the holes. Somehow that was even darker than the darkness that now surrounded them. No one could see the person's face, only pure darkness from under his hood. His hands were not covered with flesh, instead they were dirt-covered bones that somehow moved on their own. He held an ancient scythe in his hand, however even for its age the blade was razor-sharp. In his other hand was a large ancient book. As he moved forward he seemed to float over the ground without touching it. He stopped just in front of Naruto. He is a young dead, said Todd as he opened his book and started flipping those pages. Here, Gaara of the Sand, this weight is heavy. Do you still want to try this? Yes, said Naruto. Very well, said Todd as he closed his book. He then tapped the ground with his scythe as a scale suddenly appeared behind Todd. Let the weighing commences. With that, an image of Gaara appeared on one side of the scale. He moved around as if trying to break out. Gaara! Yelled Kankuro as he ran forward into the darkness, only to everyone's surprise have him run back into the group from behind. How in the world? I will forgive you this one transgression, but if you do anything else then your soul will be taken, said Todd. I am sorry for his action, Todd, said Naruto. No matter, it is time for your offering, said Todd as Naruto pulled a scroll from his back and held it. Here I offer in exchange the soul of Sasori of the Red Sand, said Naruto as everyone's eyes widened. That light Naruto's sword gave off when he killed Sasori must have sealed his soul away into that scroll, but a gesture like that is forbidden, thought Kakashi. Ah, said Todd as an image of Sasori appeared on the other end of the scale. This one is wanted dearly by my master, but will it be enough for the exchange? I believe it will, said Naruto. Very well, said Todd as the scales began to move. First Sasori's end went down, and then Gaara's before settling at an even leave. Their weight is the same, the exchange is fair, said Todd as the images disappeared as well as the scales. The exchange can happen. Let's do this, said Naruto as he placed the scroll down on top of the butt of his sword. Todd's hand moved toward the sword, however, and it was a ghostly image of Gaara. The exchange is done, said Todd as his hand crossed over the scroll. The moment it did, the image in his hand changed from Gaara to Sasori. A second later, Gaara let out a deep breath. Until we meet again, Naruto, said Todd as he disappeared from sight and the light and warmth returned. Naruto then pulled his sword from Gaara, only for everyone to see that Gaara was breathing and didn't have a wound on him. What was that? Yelled Kiba. I traded Sasori's soul for Gaara's, said Naruto as he put his sword away. How can you do that? Asked Temari. With the god of death summoning pack, said Lady Chio. I remember the legends of something like this, but I always thought it was a myth. All myths are based partly on facts, said Naruto. So what did we just see? Asked Kiba. That was Todd, the keeper of the Book of the Dead, said Naruto. For the right price, he is willing to trade one soul for any other as long as they weigh the same, or he gets the better deal. Weigh? Asked Shino. Their chakra strength the stronger, and the age of the person determines the weight of the person, explained Saito before looking at Naruto. It's time. Right, said Naruto as he formed a hand sign. Wait, why are you leaving? Pleaded Sakura. Please, Naruto-kun, we are your friends. We all thought you were dead, so why leave? He needs to finish his training, said Saito. He is a leaf ninja. He is coming back with us, yelled Lee. Don't worry, my youthful friend, I will save you from this black creature. Lee jumped into the air and tried to deliver a roundhouse kick to Saito, only to be blocked by Naruto. What Naruto? Asked Lee as Naruto's eyes turned red and he threw Lee hard out of the cave-like base and into the cliffside outside. You have no idea what is going on, Lee, so stay out of it, growled Naruto as his friends looked at him. Naruto, we have wasted too much time here, said Saito. I know, said Naruto as he formed a hand sign until we meet again. Slowly his body disappeared back into nothingness. Naruto-kun, what happened to you? Asked Sakura out loud as she looked at the spot where Naruto used to be. At least he is still alive, said inner Sakura. But look at how much has changed. He isn't the same person, said Sakura back. Can I bring him back? Sure we can, yelled inner Sakura. What happened? Asked Gaara as he opened his eyes. That will take some explaining, said Kakashi, however not nearly as long as it will to explain this to Lady Tsunade. Naruto, I thought you had more control over yourself, said Saito as they walked through a grassy field. It was seeing her again, explained Naruto as he lowered his head in shame. I thought I had overcome my feelings toward her, but it seems they still have some hold on me. Her? Asked Saito as he searched his memoirs. Ah, the pink-haired young woman is Sakura Haruno? Yeah, said Naruto. So she is the vixen that drives you crazy? Asked Saito. Yeah, said Naruto, however her heart belongs to Sasuke. I see, said Saito. I never understood that about you. You expected my father's offer so that you could bring back a male to the vixen you love. Most males would just try to move in and take the vixen for himself. Sakura's happiness means the most to me, and if that means she is with someone else, so be it, said Naruto. I see, said Saito as they came to the top of a hill. Well, home sweet home. Yeah, home, said Naruto as he looked down at the Demon Fox village. Sakura had never run so fast in her whole life as she and her team made their way back to the leaf. Sakura, I admire your youthfulness, but the others need to rest, said Lee as he looked at the other struggling ninjas. Even Guy and him were having trouble keeping up with Sakura. Lee, said Sakura. Yes. Shut up, yelled Sakura as her speed increased yet again. I have to tell Lady Tsunade. I have to tell her that Naruto-kun is alive. Though Sakura. Meanwhile, in the demon world, Naruto was in his home. It was his own private living area on the grounds of the Demon Fox Royal Palace. He was the first human to ever live in the demon world, as such a lot of the things he had wasn't designed for a human to use. However, he had adapted. He hung his cloak and sword on the wall before heading toward the shower. He quickly turned the water on. He stepped into the hot water, and instantly his thoughts turned inward. Sakura-chan, said Naruto as he placed his head against the wall, letting the water run down his body. Why can't I get you out of my head? Because you love her, said a new voice in his mind. Kyuubi, said Naruto as his eyes turned red. I thought I asked you not to invade my personal mind, and you said that you would only use this link in the case of emergency. Well, your love for the young vixen is messing with your mission, said Kyuubi inside his mind. My mission is to recuse Sasuke for Sakura, destroy the sound and remove the Akatsuki from the world, said Naruto. Somehow I don't think you want to save Sasuke for Sakura. You want the vixen to love you, and you believe that if you bring him back she will love you. No offense, Fox, but you have no real idea how humans' romances work, said Naruto. And neither do you, said Kyuubi as his voice faded from Naruto's mind. I really hate him sometimes, thought Naruto as he turned off the water and headed toward bed. He would begin training again in the morning. Meanwhile, in the leaf, Tsunade was about to finish for the day when Sakura burst through the door. Lady Tsunade, yelled Sakura in between deep breaths. What is it, Sakura? Asked Tsunade. It's Naruto, he is alive, said Sakura as Tsunade's eyes became as wide as diner plates. What? Asked Tsunade. We saw him on our mission, said Kakashi as Tsunade looked toward him. He killed a member of the Akatsuki as if it was nothing. Are you sure it is Naruto? Asked Shizen. Yes, we are sure, said Shino as everyone else entered the room. Well, where is he? Asked Tsunade. Sorry, after he brought Gaara back to life he did some transportation just to and got away, said Sakura. Brought Gaara back to life? Asked Shizen. Yeah, he summoned someone named Todd and traded the soul of the Akatsuki member he killed for Gaara's, said Kakashi as Tsunade's eyes widened. That is a forbidden summon that hasn't been used since the dark times before even the nations were formed, said Tsunade. It gets worse, he was traveling with a large fox, said Kakashi. The Kyuubi? Asked Tsunade. No, the fox is named Saito. He is the son of the Kyuubi, said Kakashi. Son of the Kyuubi, said Shizen. He said Naruto was the Kyuubi's student, said Kakashi as Tsunade's eye widened. The Kyuubi student? Asked Tsunade as Kakashi nodded his head. How could he be alive? I thought Jiraiya said Naruto's name was faded from the Toad Summon Scroll, said Kakashi. I don't really know, said Tsunade as she turned to Shizen. Send a message to the pervert and tell him to get his ass back here now. At once, said Shizen. So what are we going to do, Lady Tsunade? Asked Kakashi. We can't spare the resources to go after Naruto and Sasuke. Go after Sasuke, stated Sakura as everyone looked at her. How can you say that? Naruto-kun never turned his back on us, we can't abound him, snapped Hinata. Hinata, Naruto-kun will go after Sasuke, said Sakura. If we find Sasuke, we find Naruto-kun. She is right, said Kiba. Naruto will likely go after Sasuke, so if we get him, we get Naruto. Alright, we will go after Sasuke in hopes of finding Naruto, said Tsunade. The next morning Naruto woke up and did his normal routine, push-ups, sit-ups, lifting weights, and running. Morning, Naruto, said the Kyuubi as he walked up to Naruto, who was currently sitting on top of the water in meditation. Morning, Kyuubi, said Naruto as he looked up at the lager dark red fox with 9 tails. How are you going on perfecting the sage mode? Asked the Kyuubi. Every day I get close, but it is slow, said Naruto. Good, you have progressed much more than I thought possible, said Kyuubi. However, I am still not ready, said Naruto, and time is running out to save Sasuke. Yes, but focus on your training. If you rush into battle without being ready, then you will be killed and then no one will be free to bring Sasuke back, said Kyuubi. I know, said Naruto. Let me see how far you have come, said Kyuubi as Naruto nodded his head. He stood up and formed an hand sign as red chakra surrounded him. Slowly his skin started to fall off as he started to change. There, said Naruto in a deeper voice, that is about how far I can go. I see, said Kyuubi, you are near? I know, said Naruto as he turned back to normal, except his skin was slightly burned. Also, it still hurts when I use it. That is to be expected, said Kyuubi. Now how are you doing with the fact that your friends believed you to be dead? Actually better than I, though, said Naruto as he put his cloak back on and grabbed his sword. It is kind of liberating being free from the orders of a leaf ninja and those eyes in the village, and yet I miss my friends, but I enjoyed not seeing those eyes more. Once you finish your training you may return to the village, said Kyubi. However, if we should ever need you. I know, said Naruto. I will come. Good, now get back to work, ordered Kyubi as he turned and walked away. Meanwhile, in the leaf, Sakura sat at the barbecue stand just looking at her food as it burned over the hot coals. What is up, forehead? Asked her best friend Ino as she, Shikamaru, and Choji walked into the food stand. Yeah, you look very bad, said Choji, like you have something on your mind. I do, said Sakura. Naruto is alive. What? Asked Shikamaru, stunned to hear that. Are you sure? Asked Ino. Yeah, he appeared in our mission to save Gaara, said Sakura. So where is he? Asked Choji. He didn't come back with us, he used the transportation just and disappeared, said Sakura sadly. Where did Naruto learn something like that? Asked Ino. I don't know, what they were saying didn't make sense, said Sakura. The Kyubi is alive, has a son, and Naruto is his student? How can that even be when the fourth Hokage killed the demon fox? Across the street stood two figures, a man with long dark hair and red eyes and a woman with long white hair and red eyes. Foolish humans, said the man as he listened to the young humans talk. 99% of humans are foolish, said the woman. So, Saito, it's the pink-haired vixen that has Naruto's heart? So it would seem, said Saito. I hate this form, walking on two legs doesn't fit right with me. Me either, but two demon foxes walking around in their true form would bring everyone in the village down upon us. Besides, I kind of gotten used to it after our time helping Naruto train, said the two-tailed fox Katara, daughter of one of the council members of the demon fox world. Just then a white-haired man ran by at top speed. Ah, there is Jiraiya, the toad sage, Naruto's old teacher, said Saito as he watched the old Sannin make his way toward the Hokage Tower. I'll take care of the sage. You learn more about the vixen's feelings toward Naruto. Sure, said Katara as they went their separate ways. What is this about Naruto? Yelled Jiraiya as he burst through the Hokage's office doors. Well, at least he is coming through the door now, thought Tsunade as she turned to look at her old teammate. Naruto was spotted during the missing to Rikugara from the Akatsuki, explained Tsunade. However, he is extremely different. Different how so? Asked Jiraiya. He killed Saito of the Red Sand with easy, said Tsunade as Jiraiya's eyes widened as he heard his student had killed a legendary ninja. While the training techniques I taught him must have really been useful if he's as strong as you say he is, said Jiraiya as mentally patted himself on the back. Wow, humanity's stupidity has fallen to a new low, a low I believed impossible, said a new voice as the two Sennin turned toward the window only to see a man sitting there looking in on the two of them with red glowing eyes. Who are you? Snapped Tsunade as she got into a stance and turned toward the newcomer. Please, I have no intention of fighting the two of you. Beside, if I did it would only upset Naruto with me, said the man. You know Naruto? Asked Tsunade as the man came through the window and started to change. He went down on all fours as black fur ripped across his body and his joints changed. 3 black tails appeared as his face changed into that of a fox. Of course, the only reason I learned how to take that weak human form was to help Naruto train, said the fox. I am Saito. Meanwhile, across town, Sakura still sat with Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji as Sakura told them everything about their encounter with Naruto. They had been joined by Hinata, Shino, and Kiba, who shared their own stories. That is weird, said Choji. Yeah, the Kyubi is dead, said Ino. He is far from dead, said a new voice as the 4 of them looked up to see a beautiful young woman standing there. Her long white hair reached her waistline. She wore a simple light blue top with black pants. Who are you? Asked Choji. My name is Katara, said Katara as she turned her attention to Sakura. So you're Sakura Haruno, said Katara. Yeah, what's your point? Said Sakura. I just can't see what makes you so special. You don't have as big of as that white-eyed girl, and the blonde-haired girl has an overall better figure than you, said Katara as she looked at Hinata and Ino. What did you say? Yelled Sakura as she punched the woman only to have her caught it with easy. Easy to anger and not that strong, stated Katara. What did you say? Yelled Sakura again as she threw her other fist only to have that be caught too. You're not that strong, said Katara again. I just don't see it. See what? Growled Sakura as her friends got up and surrounded the strange woman. The few other people in the stand had ran, fearing a battle was about to break out. I don't see why Naruto would like someone like you even if it was a childhood crush, said Katara as everyone's eyes widened. I thought all human men care about with a woman's size and how they look. You know Naruto-kun? Asked Hinata. Of course, I have been training with him since he left this village, said Katara with a grin. Where is he? Growled Sakura as Katara noticed something. Sakura's eyes burned. However, it wasn't hate that was burning in her eyes, it was longing. Interesting, she longs for Naruto, but why? Is it just because she wants to see a long-lost friend, or could there be more? Thought Katara with a grin. Can a human fall in love with someone they believe died? Where is he? Snapped Sakura. He is training, said Katara back. He came across you too soon, he wasn't ready. Take me to him now or I break every bone in your body, heal them and then break them again, snapped Sakura. Differently a dominate type. Thought Katara she could be fun. I can't take you to him yet, said Katara. Then I start breaking bone. Growled Sakura. You may not have noticed, but Shikamaru placed you under his clan's shadow Justu. You are now under his control. Really? Said Katara as suddenly out of her spin shot a tail that whipped around, smashing Shikamaru in the face, causing him to crash into a couple of chairs. I don't think so. What are you? Asked Kiba. Please don't tell me you haven't figured it out, asked Katara as she let go of Sakura's hands and started to turn into a fox right before their eyes. I am a demon fox. I am a demon fox, said Katara as the white demon fox stood on all fours looking up at Sakura. Your little Justu has no real effect on me. Where is Naruto? Demanded Sakura again. Wow, facing a demon and you are unflinching in your demands, said Katara as she released some demon chakra, and yet Sakura stood her ground. Interesting, most humans would have crapped their pants by now. Where is Naruto? Demanding Sakura. Why don't we make this fun? I spotted a training field not far from here by a small creek, said Katara. Team 7 training field, so what? Said Sakura. Meet me there, show me what you can do, and if you impress me I'll tell you where Naruto is, said Katara as she disappeared in a gust of wind. Okay, what just happened? Asked Choji. However, by the time those words left his mouth, Sakura was out the door. Meanwhile, in the Hokage's building, Tsunade and Jiraiya looked at the black fox. You seem surprised that a demon fox would be here, said Saito as he grinned at the two Sannin. You're the one that was in Kakashi's report, the one that was with Naruto, said Tsunade. Yeah, I am his partner in our mission to destroy the Akatsuki and rescue someone called Sasuke, said Saito. Why are you here? Asked Tsunade. To tell you not to look for Naruto, he will come when he has finished his training, said Saito, and not BF. Suddenly Saito stopped and looked toward the window. What the hell are you doing, Katara? Who is Katara? Asked Jiraiya. She is my partner because Naruto is busy training, explained Saito, and now she is fighting someone. Who? Asked Tsunade. Knowing her, likely the pink-haired vixen that Naruto used to always talk about, said Saito as Tsunade's eyes widened. She knew who he was talking about. Is this all you got? Asked Katara as Sakura's punch hit nothing but air. Tell me where Naruto is, yelled Sakura as her rage blocked her emotions, and she just widely punched at Katara. Katara dodged the attacks with ease as Sakura got even more pissed off. Tell me, you damn fox, yelled Sakura as she finally connected with one of her punch. Katara's eyes widened as she felt her nose bones break from the force of Sakura's punch. Katara went flying backwards into a tree, breaking it in two. Now what do you have to say, you damn dirty fox? Yelled Sakura at the top of her lungs. I am almost impressed, said Katara as she stood back up. Her entire nose was at a weird angle and blood was pouring out of it. Sakura watched as the fox used her tail to put it back straight. Also, her nose was engulfed in chakra, healing the wound. However, I am a medical fox, so this wound is nothing. Katara, what are you doing? Asked Saito as he appeared in a nearby tree. A few seconds later, Tsunade, Jiraiya, and the other rookie 12 plus their sensei appeared on the training field. I am having some fun, stated Katara with a grin as Saito shook his head. Why my father picked you to be my mate I will never understand, said Saito. He did it because it was arranged from birth, said a new voice as Saito and Katara turned to a man sitting there in a black cloak with a black shirt and black pants sitting on a rock. Naruto, why did you come here? Asked Saito as he looked at Naruto. Kyuubi was worried that you would do something like this, said Naruto flatly as he rolled his eyes as he stood up. Naruto? Asked Jiraiya as Naruto just simply looked at him before turning back to Saito and Katara. Kyuubi wants us back 5 minutes ago, stated Naruto. Fine, looks like our fun is over, Sakura, said Katara. Stop right there, Naruto, ordered Tsunade as Naruto turned and looked at her. What do you want? Asked Naruto. As a ninja of the hidden leaf, I order you to come back to the village, ordered Tsunade as Naruto started laughing. Do you really think you can order me around? Asked Naruto as Tsunade was surprised that Naruto would say anything like that. You have no idea of what you are dealing with. You are still a ninja of the leaf and I am the Hokage and you will follow my orders, snapped Tsunade. I was declared dead, so I am not a ninja of the leaf, said Naruto with a grin, so I can do whatever the fuck I want. Naruto, be kinder to them, said a new voice as Naruto's and the 2 other foxes' heads whipped toward the source. Sakura's eyes widened as a large fox, maybe as tall as a human, walked out of the woods. He had dark orange fur, the tips of his pure white razor-sharp teeth stuck out from his lips. He had black marks around the eyes and ears. However, the key fact that made Sakura's blood turn to ice was the fact that 9 tails moved slowly behind him. Lord Kyuubi, said Naruto as he got down on one knee and bowed his head. Lord Kyuubi, said Katara as she did the same. Father, said Saito as he joined the 2 other in bowing to the 9-tailed fox. I am disappointed in all 3 of you, said Kyuubi as walked back and forth in front of the 3 of them, glaring at them the whole time. Saito and Katara, you were to follow your mission and give a message, and yet you mess around. Naruto, you were sent to make sure they stayed on task, and here I find you being rude. I trained you better than that. You showed a lack of honor. Sorry, sir, said Naruto. The Kyuubi closed his eyes and let out a breath. You are forgive. You 3 are still young and youth tends to walk together with stupidity, said Kyuubi. Thank you, sir, said Saito. Just make sure it doesn't happen again, said Kyuubi. Now you 3 head home. Yes, sir, said the 3 of them. They could only watch as Saito disappeared in a flash of flames, Katara in a gust of wind, and Naruto simply faded away, leaving only Kyuubi standing there. Where is Naruto? Asked Sakura. He has returned to our world, said Kyuubi. Bring him back now, ordered Sakura. You are in no position to demand anything from me, stated the Kyuubi. How can you even be alive? The 4th Hokage killed you, yelled Sakura. No, he sealed me, said Kyuubi with a laugh, and for 12 long years I was sealed inside your friend Naruto. I could see and hear everything that was going on. I know all of you humans. What? Asked Sakura, stunned to hear that you are lying. Ask your elders, said Kyuubi as Sakura looked at the Hokage. It's true, the 4th sealed the Kyuubi inside a newborn Naruto so that the village could be saved, said Tsunade as the younger generation just looked at Tsunade. Sakura's eyes widened as she remembered all the times she saw the older members of the village glaring at Naruto. How they mistreated him, how he used to come to school with bruises on his body, and how a lot of stores refused to let Naruto enter. It started to make sense. They blamed Naruto because of the demon he carried inside him. How did you get free? Asked Jiraiya. Naruto and I made a deal, said Kyuubi with a grin. You should thank Sasuke Uchiha for setting up the conditions for the deal. What are you talking about? Asked Sakura. Your Sasuke-kun stabbed Naruto in the chest with his Chidori, said Kyuubi. Blood was filling his lungs and he was drowning in his own blood. And you used the opening to take advantage of Naruto-kun and use him, yelled Sakura. He came to me, said Kyuubi with a toothy grin. I was preparing to pay the costs for my freedom. What are you talking about? If Naruto dies, then you die, said Jiraiya. That is how the seal works. Simple-minded humans, do you really think I didn't have a way to get free? Said Kyuubi as his grin grew. It would have cost me a lot, but I would have been free. All I would have to do was give up 7 of my 9 tails and the death god would have let me go free. So you and Naruto made a deal, said Tsunade. Yes, he freed me and with my full power I heal his wounds and take him to our world, said Kyuubi. The whole training thing? Asked Tsunade. I need an instrument to take down the Akatsuki and Naruto wanted to power to bring back Sasuke to a certain someone, said Kyuubi as he looked at Sakura. However, he knows the real threat is the Akatsuki and Sasuke is just a side mission that can be done when we are not busy. Give Naruto-kun back, cried Hinata. He will be free to return when he has finished his training. Said the QB. However, if he chooses to come back isn't up to me. Why wouldn't he come back? We are his youthful friends, yelled Lee. God, your voice is even more painful than ever, said QB as he remembered having to deal listening to that voice while he was inside Naruto. Now, as for your question, years changes people and he has free will. Why should we trust you? You did attack our village, stated Tsunade. I had my reasons for attack this village. As for two trusting me, I have kept my word to Naruto, said QB. Now I must get going. QB, let's make a deal, said Tsunade as the QB stopped in his tracks and turned and looked at her. You have nothing to offer me, said QB. Information. Jiraiya has a network of spies all working to find the Akatsuki, said Tsunade. So do I, said QB. Then two forces are better than one, said Tsunade. We share information about the Akatsuki. In return of what? asked QB. Naruto, we want him back, said Tsunade. Naruto is free to come and go as he pleases and I will not force him to go anywhere, said QB. Then have some of us come back with you. We want to talk to Naruto to see him, said Tsunade. Who are we talking about? asked QB. His teammate Sakura Haruno and his sensei Kakashi Hatake, said Tsunade. Very well, we will meet in your office in an hour, said QB as he disappeared in a burst of fire. Lady Tsunade, what are you doing? asked Sakura. Trying to get in touch with Naruto, said Tsunade. You were Naruto's teammate, so you can find out how much time he changed and Kakashi can find out just how much his strength changed. I see, said Kakashi as he looked at Sakura. We should pack and get prepared for anything. Jiraiya looked at Tsunade as people started to walk away. Are you sure about this? asked Jiraiya. The council will not like the fact that you are working with the QB. They don't like anything I do, said Tsunade. Also, if I get Naruto back, then I don't care. Then why not send me instead of Sakura and Kakashi? said Jiraiya. Because I can't send the spy master, we need to hold up our end of the bargain, said Tsunade. I'll get on my contacts, said Jiraiya. But do you think Naruto will want to come back? He looks like his father, and I am betting deep down he is still the same Naruto, said Tsunade. I hope you're right on this one, said Jiraiya. You tend to lose on your bets. Let's hope I win this one, said Tsunade. You're doing what? asked Naruto as he looked at the QB. I am bringing Sakura Haruno and Kakashi Hatake here, said QB. Why? asked Naruto. To get information on the Akatsuki, stated the QB as Naruto's eyes narrower. Bull, snapped Naruto. I am not lying, Naruto, stated the QB. There is more, snapped Naruto. If anything, your actions today prove that you lost your ability to interact well with humans, said QB, and you are a human. But why them? asked Naruto. It is what the Hokage pick, said QB. Fine, said Naruto as he turned and headed toward the training ground to work off some pent-up rage. Also because you can't master the Sage mode until you figure out your feelings toward the vixen, thought QB. Sakura had rushed home as fast as her legs could go. She burst out the door and sprinted up the stairs and into her room. Sakura, is that you? asked her mom from downstairs. Yeah, Mom, yelled Sakura from upstairs as she started packing everything she could find. She didn't know what she would all need, so she started packing everything, including things she likely wouldn't need. As she finished packing, her mom appeared in her doorway. You have a mission? asked her mother, Rin Haruno. Sakura turned to look at her mom, Rin Haruno. In a lot of ways, Sakura looked like a younger clone of her mom. They both had pink hair, however her mother's reached her, but they both had the same eye color. Most of Rin's friends, including Ino's mother, had said Sakura was a younger version of her mother. Yeah, do you remember when I told you we saw Naruto on our last mission? said Sakura. Yeah, said Rin with hate in her voice. Crap, Mom always hated Naruto-kun and tried everything to get me off his team. Thought Sakura. I never knew why, and she never told me why, but Dad was killed by the QB, and since QB was sealed inside Naruto, that explained why she hated him. Well, we got a lead on where he may be, and Kakashi-sensei and I are going to see if we can find him, said Sakura. Laid Sakura. Don't lie to me, Sakura, stated Rin. Crap, somehow she can find out when I am lying, thought Sakura. Well, our source of information is the nine-tailed fox, QB, said Sakura as Rin's eyes widened. What? Yelled Rin as Sakura finished packing. Naruto doesn't have the Kyuubi in him anymore, Mom, said Sakura as Rin's eyes widened even more. Yes, I know about his past. Then you know what that thing did to our family. He took away your father, snapped Rin. And the Kyuubi and Naruto are two different people, explained Sakura as she put her backpack on. You can't blame Naruto for the sins of the fox. I can blame whoever I want. Sakura, I forbid you to go, ordered Rin. Mom, even if I wasn't ordered by Lady Hokage, I would still go, said Sakura as she pushed past her mother and headed out the door, slamming it behind her. She bolted to the Hokage's office. She stopped outside the door only to hear crying coming from within. She pressed her ear against the door only to hear Hinata's voice. Why not? Cried Hinata. Hinata, like it or not, Sakura was on Naruto's team when they were genin, said Tsunade. But she doesn't care about Naruto-kun, she cares about Sasuke, said Hinata as Sakura tightened her fist. How dare she accuses me of not caring about Naruto-kun, thought Sakura as she fought the need to punch the door down and beat Hinata senseless for what she was saying. Hinata, I am sorry, but let's face the facts. Sakura and Naruto have been closer than you and Naruto, said Tsunade. They have been no more together. But, said Hinata. Hinata, I am sorry, but we need to get Naruto back, and that is why I am sending his teammates, said Tsunade. But I love him, said Hinata shakily. I know, Hinata, and when we get Naruto back, and Sakura and Kakashi are best for that, said Tsunade. When we get Naruto back, then you can try and make him fall for you. Very well, said Hinata as Sakura heard her walk toward the door. Sakura stood back as the door opened, and Hinata walked out. Her head was down, and she had a bag on her shoulder. She wanted to take our place, thought Sakura as Hinata looked up at Sakura with hate in her eyes. It was the first time Sakura ever saw that amount of hate in her friend's eyes. You can come in now, Sakura, said Tsunade as Sakura rushed by a pissed-off Hinata and entered the Hokage's office, closing the door behind her. Yes, sensei, said Sakura. This is a very risky mission. You will go into the world full of demons and up against the Kyuubi himself, said Tsunade. If it brings Naruto home, I don't care about the danger, said Sakura defiantly. Good, because your mission is to bring Naruto home, said Tsunade. Good luck with that, said a new voice as they turned to see the white fox known as Katara sitting by the door. Naruto can come and go as he pleases. You will have to convince him, and if you force him, then we will have problems. I thought Kyuubi was coming? Asked Tsunade. He was too busy to come, so I was sent. I mean, I will be queen once the Kyuubi retires and his son takes the throne, said Katara with a grin. Of course, that isn't going to happen for a while. Sorry if I am late, started Kakashi as he walked in. We don't care, said Tsunade as she looked toward the fox. Now, before you come to our world, you must know the rules, said Katara. You are not allowed to leave the government complex without a guard. You may not enter the Kyuubi's private quarters or government offices. If you are found to break those rules, then you will be sent home. We understand, said Kakashi as he closed his orange book before placing it in his back pocket. Very well, you will stay as long as you follow the rules or until Naruto finishes his training, said Katara as her eyes glowed before a swirling tornado of chakra engulfed the room. Tsunade had to cover her eyes from the force of the chakra. When she reopened them, they were gone. Good luck, said Tsunade. However, Sakura and Kakashi were in a strange situation. They found themselves in a courtyard, but not just any courtyard, it was huge. The floor was of flat polished stone, and in front of them was a huge staircase leading up to an even larger red building. Imagine the Forbidden City in China. There were foxes of all different sizes, colors, and tail numbers, however most were below 5 tails. More than a few foxes turned and looked at the strange newcomers. Followed me, ordered Katara as they started up the massive numbers of stairs toward the center building. Why are they looking at us? Asked Sakura. Simply, apart from Naruto, you are the first human that 95% of them have ever seen, said Katara. It would be as if a demon fox walked down your village's main street. I see. Where is Naruto? Asked Sakura. Straightforward as always, Vixen, said Katara as Sakura glared at her. He is in the main training field. I'll take you. Thanks, said Sakura as she and Kakashi were led toward the center of the huge building. They walked past huge columns covered with images of foxes, all covered with gold and silver. Their eyes were made of diamonds and rubies, giving them a weird look as if stone foxes were alive and looking out at here. They walked past many rooms lined with gold and the finest wood Sakura had ever seen. In those rooms were strange items along with things she knew all too well. Finally, they reached a large stone platform surrounded on all sides by buildings. There in the center of the shirtless Naruto. He was fighting against a human with black hair. They were going full go. Fire style, giant fireball Justu! Yelled the human as he breathed a giant fireball at Naruto. Wind style, air bullet! Yelled Naruto as the fireball was cut in half by Naruto's attack. Naruto Saido, said Katara as the two stopped their training. The unknown human turned into the black fox they had seen before. We have guessed. I see, said Naruto as he turned and walked away. Naruto, Lord Kyuubi ordered you not to be rude, said Katara defiantly. I know, said Naruto as he bent down and picked up a towel. He quickly whipped the sweat from his body and putting on a thin shirt that stuck to his body. However, walking up to someone covered with sweat and smelly is rude. Just look at this body, said inner Sakura as she remembered the muscles on Naruto. Yeah, said Sakura back, mentally licked her lips. So how are doing Naruto? Asked Kakashi as if he had seen him every day for years. Good, said Naruto flatly. Good, is that all you have to say? Asked Sakura. What do you want me to say? Asked Naruto, sensing the tension building. Kakashi decided to change the subject. This may be a dumb question, but why would demon foxes need to able to turn into humans? Asked Kakashi. Simple, it allows them to keep tabs on the human world better, said Naruto. Also, it helps me train. At least I don't have to turn into a human anymore. You can train against your first sensei and the vixen, said Saido. They pose no real threat to me, said Naruto as Sakura's eyes narrowed. Let's show him what we can do, said inner Sakura. Maybe after we show him how strong we are, he will talk to us instead of talk down to us. Yeah, said Sakura back. Is something wrong, Naruto-kun? You worried that you will lose to a girl? Said Sakura as she glared into Naruto's eyes. No, said Naruto. However, it is late, and you arrived just before supper, and Lord Kyuubi gets upset when any more is late for a formal supper. He is right, Lord Kyuubi is a stickler for being on time, said Katara. Fine, said Sakura. Naruto, why don't you show them to their house since they are staying with you? Said Katara. Fine, said Naruto as he started walking down a side path. Follow me. You know my father ordered you to show them to their rooms, said Saido as he looked at Katara. Yeah, said Katara. You're trying to set Naruto up with the pink vixen, aren't you? Asked Saido as Katara just grinned before turning and walking away. However, as she walked, she accidentally let one of her tails run down Sato's muzzle and the side of his face. Damn vixens, thought Saido as Katara walked away. He wasn't going to let his future mate win by showing he was interested in her. Here, said Naruto as he opened a door and led them into the largest greeting area that Sakura had ever seen. There was a huge center courtyard with a large fountain. Behind waterfall was a staircase leading up to a second floor. Ground floor is living room, training room, and other basic stuff, explained Naruto. Upstairs are the bedrooms. I don't care which ones you take. Can we take yours? Asked Sakura with a wink as Naruto just looked at her. No, said Naruto, I would hurry up and place your bags in your rooms. We leave in 10 minutes. With that, Naruto disappeared up the staircase before disappearing into a side room that must be the bedroom. I'll take the room away from Naruto, said Kakashi with a wink as he walked up the stairs. Sakura walked up the stairs and took the bedroom right beside Naruto. Maybe we can get into Naruto-kun's bedroom, said inner Sakura as Sakura opened the door to her new bedroom. Her eyes widened at what she saw. There was a huge bed with columns at each corner, and a red silk canopy over the red coverings. She jumped onto the soft bed looking up at the ceiling. She could hear water running nearby. Naruto must be taking a shower, thought Sakura. If only we shared bathrooms, then maybe I can accidentally walk in on him, or him me. Too bad we don't, said inner Sakura as Sakura looked toward her private bathroom. A few minutes later, the sound of Naruto's voice came from outside her door. It's time, said Naruto. Alright, I am about to have dinner with a bunch of demons, including the one who killed my father, thought Sakura as she straightened her cloths before heading out the door. She walked out the door and saw Naruto and Kakashi waiting by the water fountain. Sakura and Kakashi's head were looking around as they walked into the main dining hall. It was the greatest sight Sakura had seen in a long line of great sights she had seen that day. It had a large vaulted ceiling with diamonds and other rare jewels in the ceilings. making the ceiling look like a starry night sky. There was a huge ancient-looking dark wood table. Around it sat a dozen foxes, all with different numbers of tails and different colors. At the head of the table was the Kyubi. "Ah, Naruto, you are on time," said Kyubi. "As always," said an elder fox. "Who are the other two humans?" asked another elder. "Naruto, are you going to introduce your friends?" said Kyubi. "Yes, sir," said Naruto. "This is Sakura Haruno and Kakashi Hatake of the village hidden in the leaves." "Your former teammates, correct?" asked a light blue fox with 7 tails. "Yes, Councilman Gyakko, I see you have been listening to your daughter," said Naruto with a smile as Gyakko smiled back before laughing a bit. "Well, it is kind of hard not to listen to her, she takes after her mother," said Gyakko as he looked toward Katara, who sat beside Saito to the right of Kyubi. "Please take a seat," said Kyubi as Naruto walked over and sat to the left of Kyubi across from Saito. "You too." Sakura decided to sit beside Naruto with Kakashi sitting beside the demon fox Gyakko. "Now that everyone is here, we may eat," said Kyubi as Sakura looked at the food for the first time. It was strange, it was almost the same thing she expected to see at a human table. However, there was a lot more meat and few vegetables. Sakura couldn't help but watch as the demon foxes used their multiple tails to pick up the food in their cups. Sakura looked over and saw Naruto eating as if it was normal. Kakashi was doing the same. Sakura reached up and took food of her own. "So Naruto, does this vixen belongs to you?" asked Gyakko as Sakura's eyes widened. "No," said Naruto, "as far as I know Sakura is unclaimed." "What are you talking about? No one owns me," snapped Sakura. "Calm down, Sakura," said Naruto as Sakura looked at him. "They are asking if you're my girlfriend." "But they said own and claim," said Sakura. "Different meanings," said Naruto. "See, when a demon fox is dating each other, they claim each other, and other demon foxes are not allowed to date them. Owning means that they are married, they own each other, and no one else is allowed to take them." "Ah," said Sakura. "I am sorry for the word mix-up. Naruto was confused the first year he was at our table," said Gyakko. "Well, I am sorry for yelling, but to say to a human that someone owns them means slavery," said Sakura. "I see," said Gyakko. "I am sorry for the mix-up." "That is okay," said Sakura. "So why are you here?" asked another female snow-white fox, named Musique. "Well, that is a complicated issue," said Kakashi. "We are here for 2 reasons. First, to find out how much my old student has changed, and to try and get him to come back to the village once he is finished here." "I see, and I sense another reason," said Musique as she looked at Sakura. "Mother, please don't pry into other personal business," said Katara. "Very well," said Musique to her eldest daughter. "So, Lord Kyubi, how are talks going with the sharks?" asked another fox. "Sharks?" asked Sakura as she looked toward Naruto, who was pouring himself another glass of water. "You know there are 5 major ninja nations?" asked Naruto. "Yeah, the lands of fire, wind, earth, lightning, and water each has their own ninja village," said Kakashi. "Tension isn't just in human nature," said Naruto. "There are 6 major demon villages, each populated by a different summon." "So sharks is a different village and a different summons?" asked Sakura. "Correct, young vixen," said Kyubi. "The demon sharks are on a different side of an alliance between the 6 demon summons left over from the last demon war." "Demon war?" asked Sakura as Naruto closed his eyes and rubbed his temples in frustration. "Listen, Sakura, most humans believe that demons cannot be killed. That is totally wrong. A demon's lifespan is measured in millions of years, but they still can be killed," said Naruto. "When I was but a 3-tailed, the war broke out," said Kyubi. "An alliance between the foxes, bears, and our wolves' cousin lead to tension with the other alliance of the snakes, sharks, and scorpions. This tension lead to war. This was before the first human came to be, but a war unlike anything we humans have ever seen, chakra on scales that we can never imagine," said Naruto. "It ended with nothing changing. The death god, who acts like a neutral party, just told them to end it." "I see," said Sakura. "How long do you demons live for?" "Sakura, how old do you think I am?" asked Katara. About my age, 16? asked Sakura. "In a way you are correct, but we age slower. I am 16 million years old," said Katara. "I will likely die between 85 million and 100 million, that is how long we live." "I had no idea," said Sakura. "Yes, I am nearing retirement age myself," said Kyubi. "Please don't say that, Lord Kyubi," said Katara. Once my son here has mastered 6 tails, I will hand the throne over to him. Said Kyubi. That should happen in another 5 million years. 10 if my future son-in-law doesn't grow up some more. Laughed Gyako as Saito pouted at his future father-in-law actions. So you two are engaged? Asked Sakura as she looked at Saito and Katara. Ever since we were born, said Saito. Yeah, I am the first daughter of the head house of wind and Saito is first son of the house of fire, said Katara, and our firstborn male pup will be arranged to be married as you humans say to the first daughter of the house of water. It goes around though the 5 chakra types which one represented by a royal house, said Kyubi. I see, does arranged marriages happen to all demon foxes? Asked Sakura. No, only between the son of the lord and the first female of the next house, said Musique. What if they don't like each other? Asked Sakura. If both agree to it then their arranged mating cannot happen, said Kyubi. However, throughout history that has never happened. I see, said Sakura as she noticed that everyone was finishing up their meals. Why don't we retire for the evening? Said Kyubi as he looked at Kakashi and Sakura. I know how far Naruto has come, but I want to know how he compares to people he grew up with. What does that? Asked Sakura. Tomorrow morning you guys fight me, said Naruto with a grin. Crap, can we really hurt Naruto-kun? Asked Inner Sakura. We have to because we have to show Naruto-kun that we are strong, said Sakura back as she followed Naruto and Kakashi back toward their home. Naruto didn't say anything as they walked toward the house, and as soon as he walked into the house he walked up to his room, closing the door, the lock sounding behind him. Kakashi-sensei, why is Naruto acting this way? Asked Sakura, only to see that her sensei had his perverted book out. Well, said Kakashi as he closed his book, that is a difficult. First you know about the demon that used to be within Naruto. Yeah, said Sakura. Well, anyone my age or older would know full well what was within him, and we all lost someone near to us, said Kakashi. We all hated the Kyubi therefore. They hated Naruto-kun, said Sakura. Yeah, and then the villagers went around beating him up or worse, said Kakashi, remembering the reports. Imagine Sakura having everyone hate you and you have no idea why. I would hate everyone, said Sakura. That is what happened to Gaara, but Naruto, didn't he keep driving for accepts, and then he made friends with Sasuke, you and the others, even though deep down I think he feared what would happen if you guys found out about his demon, said Kakashi. But we know now, said Sakura. Yeah, and he has spent years with very little human content, said Kakashi, and he may have more personal reasons. Just give him time, Sakura, just give him time. Okay, said Sakura as Kakashi and her walked up and stairs and went into their separate rooms. Sakura quickly showered and lied down on the bed. She didn't know what made her fall asleep so fast. Maybe it was the silk sheets and soft pillow, or maybe just maybe it was the sound of Naruto's breathing coming in ever so softly from the against room. Meanwhile, Kyubi and Gyako walked down one of the well-lit corridors. They could look out the window and see with ease the outline of the sleeping village outside the walls of the ancient compound. Old friend, you and I may not have gotten along well in our puphood. In fact, I would almost compare the two of us to the relationship Naruto and Sasuke Uchiha had until Sasuke betrayed his village, said Kyubi, but I hope we can set those old issues aside for the tasks that are to come. Don't worry about me, said Gyako. I could tell you were a lot more worried about the sharks than you let on at dinner. Correct, they are starting to move, and when they start, everyone starts, said Kyubi. Then I have to ask, why did you take the human Naruto on as a student? You must have known that it would piss off the other nations, stated Gyako. I knew, but I had reasons why Naruto needed to come here, said Kyubi to his old friend. They are? Asked Gyako. One, because of all the pain and suffering he suffered in his life because of me, needed to be repaid, said Kyubi. Is that all? Asked Gyako. No, I need him to deal with Akatsuki in the human world. We can't send a bunch of forces down into the human world after them. It would break the treaty, but Naruto is a human with our summoning pack, said Kyubi. I see, he can go after the Akatsuki for us, said Gyako, and if he should need us he can summon us, and since it is a summon it is allowed in the treaty. Yes, the Akatsuki may not be a huge threat to our nation, but they are a problem I would rather not deal with, said Kyubi, and since the treaty ending the last war allows the use of summons in the human world, it is perfectly legal. Yes, humans had just figured out how to mold chakra by the time the war ended, said Gyako, but doesn't the treaty limit the number of summons you can have? Yes, 4 people can have the summoning ability in the alliances of nations, said QB. 4 total summons to be split among our allies and us, and 4 summons for the enemy. I never will understand why your mother instated that your father put 4 summons total instead of having each nation only having 1. Asked Yakko. It means that one group will have 2 summons instead of 1. Well, mother was always a little crazy, said QB. However, she was normally right about things. Are you thinking about giving the humans you had brought here the ability to summon us like you have given Naruto? Asked Yakko. No, the Alliance members were already upset with me for when I gave it to Naruto. I am not going to push them unless I need to, said QB. A wise choose, said Gyakko as he looked up at the full moon. Well, I am going to retire. I can't wait to see the humans fight tomorrow. Yes, it should be quite entertaining, said QB with a grin. The next morning, Sakura and Kakashi found themselves staring down Naruto from across a small training field. The demon foxes stood by the edge of the training field. Now Naruto, I want to see how much you improved, so no using summoning packs. Same goes for you too, said QB as he looked at the humans. Works for me, said Naruto as he pulled his sword and looked at his former team. I am ready when you two are, said Naruto as Kakashi pulled up his headband showing his Sharingan eyes as Sakura tightened her gloves. Here, we come Naruto-kun, said Sakura as she charged forward. Sakura charged forward toward Naruto, who just stood there watching her, ran toward him. When she was within feet of him, she suddenly jumped into the air. A second, Naruto noticed a large fireball coming at him, and there was no time to move out of the way. The humans worked together to engulf Naruto, said Gyakko. Yes, but on some level Naruto let them do it, said QB as the fire suddenly lowered, showing Naruto standing in the flames without a scratch on him. He stood like a pillar of ice among the flames. Take this, yelled Sakura as she came down from the sky with her fist ready. Naruto simply raised his sword, letting it take the blow. The sword groaned from the force of Sakura's attack. Naruto tried not to look stunned at the sword actually started to bend from the force. Damn, how strong is she, if she can bend demon steel? This steel is the strongest in the world, and yet she is bending it, thought Naruto, as he flipped the sword, sending Sakura flying back. Sakura flipped in midair, using her feet to bounce off the wall of the inner court. Suddenly Naruto spun around to face Kakashi, coming in with a sword of his own. I didn't know you had a sword, Kakashi? Asked Naruto as he looked into Kakashi's eyes, including his red Sharingan with his own red demon eyes. I was an ANBU captain, it's standard issue, said Kakashi as the two of them stepped back, Naruto raising his sword so that he held it above his shoulder. True, I normally keep it sealed, but this works. Well, it's been a while since I had a sword-on-sword fight, this may prove useful, said Naruto as he sidestepped a surprise attack by Sakura from behind. Impressive, Naruto was able to dodge the attack without even looking, said another council member. Naruto needs to stop messing around, he is wasting time, said Saito. Or he is just putting on a show, said Katara as Naruto, Sakura and Kakashi slowly walked around in circle. When they completed a half circle, Naruto lowered his sword and ran the hand signs. He slammed his hand on the ground. Naruto knows summoning, yelled Sakura. Who said I am summoning? Asked Naruto as suddenly a seal appeared on the ground. The ground glowed yellow before Kakashi's sword flew to the ground, followed a second later by Kakashi and Sakura. What the? Asked Sakura. Gravity seal, said Naruto. It raises the gravity under your feet, making it almost impossible to move unless you're used to it. I kept it low just so that you keep you alive. I wouldn't be sure about that, said Sakura as Kakashi appeared behind Naruto with a kunai pointed right above his spine. With that, Kakashi and Sakura disappeared, leaving only the real Kakashi standing there with a kunai pointed right at Naruto's spin. I would almost be impressed if I didn't know what you were up to, said Naruto as he disappeared in a puff of smoke. It's a clone? Asked Sakura. Yeah, I saw when Kakashi made a clone when I was dealing with Sakura's attack, and when Sakura made her clone when Kakashi and I crossed swords, said Naruto as he appeared out of slight gust of wind. Now it's my turn. Naruto quickly ran the hand signs so fast that not even Kakashi's Sharingan I could keep track of. Wind-style vortex justu, yelled Naruto as he placed his hand up to his lips. For a second, Sakura thought Naruto was going to breathe out a fireball, since it looked just like when Sasuke used his great fireball justu. However, instead of a fireball, Naruto breathed out a tornado of whipping chakra. Get back! Yelled Kakashi as he jumped over the attack. Sakura followed suit, but she was too slow. Her foot got caught in the attack. The wind-laced chakra ripped apart her boat, cutting into her skin. Sakura jumped back, pain shooting up her leg. She looked down to see that her bottom part of her boat was gone and deep cuts ran across the leg. Sakura, are you alright? Asked Kakashi as Sakura applied healing chakra onto her foot. The cuts hurt like a bitch, but it wasn't life-threatening and wouldn't leave a scar. I'll be alright, said Sakura as she started to heal the wound. Suddenly the sound of breaking bones brought Sakura back to the battle. She looked up to see that when Kakashi was talking to her, Naruto had come down and hit Kakashi with the back of his sword, the blunt end. If Naruto had hit Kakashi with the sharp end, then Kakashi would have been cut clean in two. Instead, Kakashi's clavicle bone broke. Kakashi was about to keep fighting until Naruto's sword struck again, this time on Kakashi's femur. The strongest bone in the body broke in two from Naruto's attack. Stay down, Kakashi, said Naruto, or else I have to break more bones. He's right, Kakashi-sensei, stay down, said Sakura. Now it's my turn. Don't be silly, you're hurt, said Naruto, only to get a roundhouse kick by Sakura. This time it wasn't a clone, it was the real Naruto, and he got hit hard. He went flying 20 feet before crashing into the dirt. Katara, you're a medical fox, right? Asked Sakura without keeping her eyes off Naruto. Yes, said Katara. Can you heal Kakashi-sensei? Asked Sakura. Sure, said Katara as she went into action. She may not know humans that well, but the breaks were clean and easy to fix. It's just you and me now, Naruto-kun, said Sakura with a grin as she tried not to wince in pain from her still bleeding foot. You should have just have stayed down, said Naruto as he spat out a bit of blood onto the ground. It would have been easier. It isn't in my nature to stay down, said Sakura, or are you afraid that you will lose to me? She is trying to piss Naruto off? Asked Katara so that only Kakashi could hear as she healed Kakashi. That and flirt with him at the same time, said Kakashi as he moved his healed shoulder up and down. I am guessing I can't rejoin the fight? No, said Katara, once you are treated by an outside medic you are out of the battle, it's the rules. Sakura is on her own. Interesting, I thought the young vixen would have given up by now, said Gyako. She is out to show that she is strong now, said Kyubi as he remembered what he saw from Naruto's eyes. She was extremely weak when she was a pup and counted on Naruto and her other teammate Sasuke Uchiha to protect her, said Kyubi. So she is out to prove herself, said Gyako. No, there is something more in her eyes, said Musique. Sakura just stood there and watched as Naruto took off his coat and tossed it aside. Threw his sword aside. Giving up, Naruto-kun? Asked Sakura with a laugh as Naruto cracked his knuckles. No, you want a fist fight, then I'll give you a fist fight, said Naruto as he got into a stance. Sakura charged forward and delivered a kick to the Naruto's face, however Naruto raised up his hands blocking the blow. Sakura was surprised to see that Naruto had put a wall of chakra around his arms. The chakra took most of the blow, this way Naruto's arms are not broken. Sakura tried to punch Naruto, only have Naruto grab her arm once again. Naruto used chakra to stop himself from taking the blow. Naruto then threw her back a bit before kicking her in the gut. So hard that she passed out from the blow as she went flying back. She was about to crash into a wall, however a second before she hit the ground a Naruto clone caught her. The clone then bounced off the wall and landed onto the ground. The clone then lowered Sakura to the ground before disappearing in a puff of smoke. How was that, Lord Kyubi? Asked Naruto as he bowed down to the Kyubi. You did very well, said Kyubi. You only made one critical mistake, you thought Sakura was down when she wasn't. I am sorry, my lord, said Naruto. Remember, Naruto and enemy would fight the hardest right before they fall, said Kyubi, so always be on guard. Yes, sir, said Naruto. One more then, Naruto, why did you send a clone to caught Sakura? Asked Kyubi. The battle was over, said Naruto. It is the duty of any warrior to show mercy even to defeated enemies. I see, said Kyubi. You may clean up and rest. Thank you, my lord, said Naruto as he went up and picked up his sword and his cloths before walking away. Naruto has improved a lot since he has come here, said Gyako as he and Kyubi along with the others lord left the training field. Yes, he is about ready to leave, said Kyubi. Meanwhile, Sakura had finally awoke only to see Kakashi standing there. What happened? Asked Sakura. Naruto beat both of us, said Kakashi, then he walked away. He just left us here? Asked Sakura. Well, he did caught you before you crashed into a wall, said Katara as Sakura looked at her and smiled just a bit. So maybe he does care a bit, said Sakura. Maybe, said Katara. Elsewhere on the palace ground, Naruto walked down a side corridor just thinking. Why did I hold back on her? I didn't go full go on her. I couldn't punch her at full strength. Why did I hold back? Yelled Naruto to himself as felt like punching a wall. So how are you doing, Naruto? Asked Saito as he appeared beside Naruto. I have been better, said Naruto as he let out a breath. Saito was one of the few people/foxes he could talk to with ease. They had been training together ever since he arrived, and in terms of demon's years he was the same age as Naruto. I couldn't bring myself to go full go against Sakura. I see the vixen has that much power over you? Asked Saito. Yes, what does that mean? Asked Naruto. Until yesterday I hadn't seen her for years, but yet she's still this hold on me. Well, I don't know humans that well, you're the only one I ever gotten along with, said Saito. However, I have heard of cases when even the strongest members of our military couldn't bring themselves to raise a paw against their mates. Even in training, the instincts to protect was too strong to overcome. Sakura isn't my mate, stated Naruto. I know, but maybe a part of you wishes she was, and that part can't bring yourself to go full go against her, said Saito as Naruto glared at him for even suggesting he had feelings for Sakura. I am not saying I am right, but it is just what I think it is. Well, you're wrong, stated Naruto forcefully. Well then go meditate on it, and find your answer and stop bugging me, said Saito. Fine, said Naruto as he stormed off toward his favorite mediation spot. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the world, 2 scouts reported to their leader. Sir, the Kyuubi's student Naruto Uzumaki has gotten stronger, said one of the scouts. I see, how strong? Asked their ruler. At least a 3, maybe a 4-tailed fox, said the other scout. That strong? Asked the leader. It is hard to know for sure, and I am basing it off what I have seen overall, but yes, said the scout. I see, he may prove a small problem, but a problem we can easily fix, said their ruler. How so, my lord? Asked another scout. We play the same game as the Kyuubi and get a student of my own to counteract Naruto, said the lord, and from the reports I have the perfect person in mind. Who, my lord? A young human who already has a summoning contract with our lower cousins, said the lord of the demon snakes, Seamus. His name is Sasuke Uchiha. We will find him at once, my lord, said the snake scouts. Good, said Lord Seamus as the snake scouts left. Sasuke Uchiha, you may be what I need in order to destroy the Kyuubi and the demon foxes. The 5th Hokage of the village, hidden in the leaves, Tsunade, sat behind a desk looking at some paperwork. It was getting late in the evening and even Shizen had gone home. Suddenly she felt another person in the room. All her ninja training told her that she wasn't alone in the room. Who is there? Asked Tsunade as suddenly the lights in the room dimmed until the only source of light was the small desk lamp. Out of the darkness 2 red silted eyes appeared. Hello, Lady Hokage, said a voice as an image of Kyuubi walked out of the darkness. Ha, Kyuubi, said Tsunade, trying not to show fear at the most powerful demon lord known to man. I thought it would be good if the 2 of us talked about Naruto away from others, said Kyuubi. Then talk, ordered Tsunade. In order to talk about Naruto's new part in the world, I need to correct major problems with your knowledge about demons, said Kyuubi. I am listening, said Tsunade. First, the other 8-tailed beasts, as you call them, are what you call them, beasts, said Kyuubi. They are beasts with little to no culture or anything in the way of civilization. I and my kind are not one of them. They are savages compared to us. I see, said Tsunade. However, they are not a huge part of the world. They are small fries compared to the 6 demon nations, said Kyuubi. Demon nations? Asked Tsunade. As we explained to Sakura Haruno and Kakashi Hatake, it is like your ninja nations, said Kyuubi. However, each nation is populated by a different summon demon. I see, said Tsunade. Yes, there are the wolves, lions, snakes, sharks, scorpions, and the foxes, of course. Of course, said Tsunade as she looked at the Kyuubi. Let me guess, these demon nations are divided down the middle 3 on 3? Correct, the wolves, lions, and foxes have been in alliance together for over 900 million years, and the snakes, sharks, and scorpions have been in one even longer, said Kyuubi. This is one thing I don't understand. I have the slug contract, Jiraiya has the toad contract, and Orochimaru has the snake, but I know for a fact that our summons were pretty equal in power, said Tsunade, and yet they don't stand a chance against a demon like you, so how can there be a demon snake? The snakes Orochimaru has is a lower class of snakes, not a demon level summon, said Kyubi. They are in a world separate than us, and they stay out of our way. That is why when Naruto signed our summoning contract he lost the ability to summon toads. They are a lower summoning group and we don't like to share summons. I see, said Tsunade. That explains why even the toads thought Naruto was dead and they know where all their summons are. Does anyone else have the demon summoning besides Naruto? Asked Tsunade. Unknown but highly unlikely. I know none in my alliances have summons, and the other 3 nations hate humans more than the other demons, said Kyubi. Wait, Naruto had the death god summons. How does that work? Asked Tsunade as the Kyubi grinned. You're smarter than I thought, said Kyubi. See, the death god is a neutral party in the demon world. Anyone who signs a demon summon pact can sign with him. He doesn't care what happens as long as he gets souls. The only time he has stopped anything was during the Great Demon War. Demon War? Asked Tsunade. Do you think warfare is just limited to humans? Asked Kyubi. I guess not, said Tsunade. I was but a young 3-tailed demon when the war broke out, said Kyubi. Young? Asked Tsunade. We have a longer lifespan than you humans, but we do age and we can die, said Kyubi. If you compare demon years to human years, Naruto and my son, Saito, are the same age and you and I are about the same age. I see, said Tsunade as she began to wonder about the age difference between father and son. Well, I was just a young 3-tailed when the war broke out. As you can imagine, it was bloody, said Kyubi. All wars are bloody, said Tsunade. Yes, the war almost caused the extinction of both sides. That is why the death god stopped the war. He wants people to die, but if everyone dies then he stops getting souls, said Kyubi. However, the ended after I lost my mate-to-be. You know how that feels, don't you? What? Asked Tsunade. I can see it in your eyes, Tsunade. You lost someone close to you, closer than almost anyone. A future mate, said Kyubi as Tsunade lowered her head as she remembered back to that horrible day almost 30 years ago. To the day after her lover and boyfriend at the time, Dan, had died. Flashback. A 26-year-old Tsunade lied on a bed crying her eyes out. She hugged a pillow that used to belong to the person she shared the bed with. Dan, they had been dating for almost 2 years, but now he was dead. With all her medical skills she could save him. The person she held closest to her heart was gone. She pulled the pillow to her and just smelled his scent. Why, Dan, why? Asked Tsunade as she let out a scream and threw the pillow across the room. Why did you have Tio die on me? Tsunade didn't know how long she sat there crying until she walked and picked the pillow up. When she picked it up she noticed something. There in the pillow was a small scroll. What the? Asked Tsunade as she pulled the scroll out. It had Dan's hard-to-read handwriting on the side. She broke the seal and opened the scroll. When she did, a small puff of smoke appeared. Her eyes widened as she saw what came out of the scroll. It was a ring box. Tsunade reached out with her shaking hands as she opened the box to show a simple diamond ring with her birthstone on either side of the diamond. Oh my God! Said Tsunade as she snapped the box closed. She couldn't look at it. However, when she looked down at the scroll again, there was a list. Tsunade looked at the scroll. There was a whole plan laid out on the scroll. However, instead of a battle plan, it was Dan's plan to ask for her hand in marriage. He had everything planned out, a walk in the park after a dinner, and then popping the question on a park bench. Tsunade's tears fell like waterfall as she saw the date he had planned to ask her. It was today. End flashback. Tsunade never told anyone what she found that day, not even Shizen, Dan's niece. She couldn't bring herself to tell Shizen that if it wasn't for Dan dying she would be Shizen's aunt. Yes, I know how it feels, said Tsunade. My future-to-be mate, you could call her my fiancée, died in front of me, said Kyubi. I was never the same after that until I meet someone else. Her name was Isis. Was? Asked Tsunade. I have suffered the loss of a loved one not once but 2 times, said Kyubi. She died? Asked Tsunade. Yes, she died giving birth to our second pup, a girl we named Isla. However, she died a day after her mother, said Kyubi sadly as he looked out the window remembering that day, and for a moment Tsunade thought the Kyubi, the most powerful demon ever known by man, was about to cry over the loss of his mate and daughter. I am sorry, I can't imagine what it would be like to lose a child and a wife that close to the same time, said Tsunade. I was devastated, to say the least. Fox's mate only once and for life. Losing her means even if someone could that her place no could, said Kyubi, and that is when Mandra Uchiha took advantage of my weakened state. What, he died a long time ago? Said Tsunade. Wrong, he is alive, said Kyubi. He controlled me and forced me to attack your village. What, that is why you attacked the village? asked Tsunade. Yes, he wanted to get revenge on your village, and I was the tool. Said Kyubi. That is part of the reason why I want the Akatsuki gone, but I am not allowed to directly interfere with human affair. Naruto, said Tsunade. Naruto, said Kyubi. My tool to get revenge on them. I get my revenge and he gets the power to save Sasuke. A win-win for both of us. That is Naruto's only mission for you? Asked. No, I need him to destroy the Akatsuki and kill Mandra. Said Kyubi. After that he is free to do as he pleases. That is why I wanted you to send the pink vixen to our world. What does Sakura have to do with your plan? Asked Tsunade. You know of the sage form, correct? Asked Kyubi. Yes, I never mastered the slug sage mode, but the pervert has mastered the toad form, said Tsunade. Naruto is near to mastering the demon fox sage mode, said Kyubi as Tsunade's eyes widen. However, his feelings are in the way. For Sakura? Asked Tsunade. Correct, said Kyubi. His confusion about his feelings for the vixen are in the way. Wait, you want him to lose his feelings for Sakura? You want him to become a heartless tool? Yelled Sakura. Calm down, did I say anything about him giving up his feelings about her? Asked Kyubi. You said his feelings were in the way, said Tsunade as the Kyubi laughed. No, I said his confusion about his feelings were in the way, said Kyubi as Tsunade blinked. What? I don't really care if he loves the vixen or hates the vixen, makes no real difference to me. However, I will say I am pulling for the vixen, said Kyubi. At his confusion about how he feels is stopping him from mastering the form, and the only way to get rid of that confusion is by seeing Sakura himself and sorting it out himself. I see, said Tsunade. What about his attitude? He has never acted like that before. He has been hanging around with my son a little too long. That is a side reason why I wanted the vixen to come, said Kyubi. A vixen's touch usually cools down an attitude. Well, Sakura has the fists to calm him down, that's for sure, laughed Tsunade. Sometimes it takes tough love, said Kyubi. However, judging from what I saw today, it may not take that much. What are you talking about? Asked Tsunade. I had Naruto train with Kakashi and Sakura. At the end of the battle, Sakura was passed out while flying toward a wall, said Kyubi, and Naruto caught her before she hit the wall. I see, said Tsunade with a smile. Maybe Sakura can convince Naruto to come back to the village. Vixens in general are good in getting what they want, said Kyubi. However, it is Naruto's choice. I will not force him to come back to those hateful eyes. I understand, said Tsunade. Until we meet again, said Kyubi. Disappeared into nothingness as light returned and her office returned to normal. That was the weirdest meeting I ever had, said Tsunade as an ANBU appeared. Lord Hokage, said the ANBU. Yes, we have returned from the mission to the Fire Temple, said the ANBU. We have located and killed those behind, taking the bodies from their resting places. One of the people behind it was Kazuma, one of the 12 guardian ninjas. I see, I thought Asuma killed him, said Tsunade. It would seem not, said the ANBU. I see, said Tsunade. You're dismissed. Yes, Lady Hokage, said the ANBU as he disappeared. And the council thought I was wasting forces by sending an ANBU team to go check out those bodies disappearing. However, as soon as they find out about the Kyubi, they will be yelling like no other, thought Tsunade as she finally opened the bottle of shake on her desk and poured herself a large shot. She downed it in one go, trying not to smile because she knew if anyone could get Naruto home, it was Sakura. While Tsunade and the Kyubi talked, Naruto sat on top of the water of a pond under the freshly rose half moon. He had sat in mediation since the battle he had with Sakura and Kakashi. But no matter how much he tried to force Sakura out of his mind, he just couldn't. It was easy when he was in the middle of training with the Kyubi to force her out of his mind. The pain of training meant that he had to focus on just making it another minute. He couldn't focus on Sakura. However, now he had only one more thing to do until he finished his training, and Sakura was so close to him. He couldn't help but remember the smell of her strawberry-scented shampoo that he smelled when he had caught her. The fact that she was now calling him Naruto-kun didn't help in keeping her out of her mind. Naruto's eyes snapped open as he turned his head and looked toward one of the entrances. There, standing in the doorway leading out of the training area, was a human figure. He knew right away it wasn't a demon fox in human form. They hated that form and only took that form when they were about to train, and it wasn't Kakashi, that was for sure. Perfect, just fucking perfect, thought Naruto as he narrowed his eyes as Sakura walked toward him. Am I interrupting something, Naruto? Asked Sakura as she walked to the edge of the water. If I say you are, it won't stop you from leaving me alone, will it? Said Naruto. No, it will not, said Sakura as she crossed her arms and glared at Naruto. I want to hear the reason why you made a deal with the Kyuubi, asked Sakura. Why not? Asked Naruto. Why not? He is a demon fox, yelled Sakura at the top of her lungs. Your point? Asked Naruto as he slowly got up from his cross-sitting position and looked at Sakura square in the eyes. He attacked our village, killed people, and caused you so much pain, said Sakura. I was never hurt by the Kyuubi, I was hurt by people who believed I was the Kyuubi, explained Naruto. It was the villagers, not the Kyuubi, who beat me up almost every day. It was the villagers, not the Kyuubi, who robbed my place every other week, and it was the villagers, not the Kyuubi, who burned down my first apartment when I was 7. What? Asked Sakura. I didn't always live in that apartment you knew about. I lived in a different apartment near the East Gate, said Naruto. On my 7th birthday, I was sleeping in my bed when some villager threw a Molotov cocktail through my window, landing on my bed. But if that happened, you would have been burned lot, said Sakura. I was, over 80% of my body was covered with burns. I didn't know it at the time, but thanks to the Kyuubi the burns healed. So tell me, Sakura, who would you trust more? Snapped Naruto. The people who burned down a 7-year-old home and gave him 3rd-degree burns, or the one who healed those burns? But what about us, your friends? Asked Sakura. We never hurt you. Yeah, you did, said Naruto. Or did you forget, Sakura, all those times you called me worthless, that you backed Sasuke's ideas just because he was so cool? Sakura lowered her head as she remembered those words she had used on Naruto when they were in school. She had a hard time finding a single compliance she ever gave him before they became teammates. You don't think being picked last for everything, not being allowed to sit with anyone at lunch, and being called a loser by everyone? Snapped Naruto with tears in his eyes. I never did anything wrong, and I tried to be friendly with everyone, and all I got in return was pain and loneliness, Naruto, said Sakura as she lowered her head. Did you never wonder why I pulled those pranks? Asked Naruto. No, said Sakura. Figures, you were popular, you had friends like Ino, said Naruto as he crossed his arms. The only way I could get anyone to even look at me beside in hateful glares was to pull those pranks. I needed what to put it was the only way for a kid who was always alone to get some fucking attention. Or did you not notice that I pretty much stopped pulling them when I became a ninja and had people to talk to? It did stop when Naruto-kun became a ninja, said Inner Sakura. Yeah, but I always thought it was because he was a ninja now and he grew up a bit, said Sakura back. But Naruto-kun, the rookie 12, we all became friends in time, said Sakura. Do you know what it was like to think you were dead? Flashback. It was a warm fall day, the type of day Naruto would have liked as a 12-year-old. Sakura, along with the remaining members of the rookie 12, stood by a gravestone, along with their sensei and a few other people. They were all dressed in black as they looked at the name covered into the stone. Naruto Uzumaki. Why can't Naruto's tomb be with the other ninjas who died in battle? Asked Sakura. The council wouldn't allow it, said Kakashi. Why? He died for the village like any other ninja, said Sakura. They have their reasons, said Tsunade, none of them good. Goodbye, Naruto, said Sakura as she placed flower on her teammate's grave. Orange flowers? Asked her best friend Ino. I thought Naruto-kun would like them, said Sakura, saying Naruto-kun for the first time with love in her voice. End flashback. If you guys had known the truth about me, then you would have celebrated just like everyone else did at my death, said Naruto. Let me guess, the villagers were dancing in the streets, eating and drinking at my death. Suddenly Naruto felt a hard slap across his cheek. The suddenly blow caused him to lose control of the chakra, keeping him standing on top of the water. He dropped down into the knee-high water. He whipped his head back around to see Sakura also standing in water. You son of a, cried Sakura, the tears following down her cheeks, joining the water in the pound at a steady rate. You hated when the villager judged you as the Kyuubi, and yet you judge your friends. You believe that we would hate you, our friend and our teammate, because of something out of your control. You should have given us a chance instead of rushing to judge us. Sakura, said Naruto. Then you let us think you died by the hands of Sasuke, yelled Sakura, and we thought that for fucking years, and then out of the blue you show up and then you leave without saying so much of a word to us. What made you change, Naruto-kun? What made you into such a heartless person like Sasuke, like those villagers who couldn't look past the Kyuubi within you and see the true you? Asked Sakura. Why did you take the deal with the Kyuubi? Naruto lowered his head. I did it for you, answered Naruto as he looked at the surface of the water. What? Asked Sakura. I did it for you, Sakura, repeated Naruto. I did it to keep my promise to you. Flashback. Don't worry, Sakura-chan, I promised to bring Sasuke back, said a 12-year-old Naruto as he stood by the gate. He gave Sakura a thumbs up with that wide, stupid smile covering his face. It a promise of a lifetime. End flashback. I promise you that I would bring Sasuke back to you, and I will keep that promise no matter what it takes, said Naruto. So when Sasuke ran his Chidori through my body and I was about to die, I went to the Kyuubi and offered to set him free if he trained me and gave me the strength I needed to bring Sasuke back to you. You did all this just to keep a promise to me? Asked Sakura. Yes, said Naruto simply. I did it for you. Why did you do that for me? Asked Sakura. Because I loved you then, said Naruto. And now? Asked Sakura as her heart began to sour. Come on, say it, pleaded inner Sakura. I am not sure, said Naruto. What? Thought both Sakura. I don't know if I still like you or not, explained Naruto. I don't know how much you have changed and how much I have changed. We may so totally different now. I see, said Sakura sadly. I am sorry, Sakura-chan, said Naruto as he slowly walked past her and headed toward bed. Naruto-kun doesn't love me, cried Sakura, her heart breaking into millions of tiny pieces. No, he said he wasn't sure if he liked you still or not. He just isn't sure yet, said inner Sakura as Sakura's heart started to reform with newfound hope. We just need to get him to love us again, and judging from that fact, he said, Sakura-chan, we have a good chance of winning this fight. Chan? Yeah, he did call me Chan. Naruto-kun called me Sakura-chan, cried Sakura, and joy, Naruto-kun is still in there. Correct, now all we have to do is get the real Naruto out, return that goofy, dumb, lovable smile to his face, said inner Sakura. We will begin first thing in the morning, said Sakura. Meanwhile, in a dark cave, a group of ninjas gathered. That group was the Akatsuki. So the nine-tailed Jinchuriki is alive, said a ghostly image of the leader of the Akatsuki, Pain. Yes, Pain, he killed Sasori in a single move, said Deidara. You two were probably yelling at each other about your dumb art, said Kisame with a huge shark-tooth grin. What did you say about my art? Yelled Deidara. Calm down, ordered Pain. Fine, but what of the nine tails? Asked Kisame. The Jinchuriki said he wasn't a Jinchuriki anymore, said Deidara. That is impossible, he would be dead, said another member of the Akatsuki named Haiden. Everything is possible, Haiden, said Pain as he looked at Itachi Uchiha, older brother to Sasuke Uchiha. I will use my contacts to find out what is up with the Jinchuriki, said Itachi. Good, now it will take time to prepare the sealing of the two tails, said Pain. In the meantime, Kakuzu and Haiden stay away from Fire Country for the time being until Itachi will make his contacts find out what is going on there. What about me? Asked Deidara. I was getting to that. You will be getting a new partner, said Pain. Who? Asked Deidara. Hello? Yelled a new voice as a man came running toward Deidara and gave him a huge hug. Deidara, say hello to Toby, said Pain as most of the other members of the Akatsuki chuckled. You can't be serious, said Deidara. Yes, I am a member now, said Toby as Deidara got a look at him for the first time apart from the normal Akatsuki cloak he had on, his normal spiral pattern face mask. And then even gave me this nice warm cloak. I never knew how warm this cloak was, and it looks so cool. Toby, shut up, yelled Deidara. Now you two are to find the three tails and capture it, ordered Pain. At once, said Toby as he snapped to attention as Pain faded from sight, followed by the rest of the Akatsuki. The moment they were gone, Toby turned and looked at Deidara. I'm hungry. God, what did I do to deserve this? Asked Deidara. The next morning, Sakura woke up and headed down the stairs. She entered a small built-in kitchen. Morning, said Kakashi as he sat there eating a bowl of cereal though his mask. Sakura just looked the other way as she took out her breakfast from her pack. There is fresh bread and milk in the fridge. Thanks, said Sakura as she made her breakfast. So I noticed that Naruto, and you were out late, said Kakashi. Did anything happen? Sakura rolled her eyes. Kakashi-sensei, we did nothing but talk, and even if we did I wouldn't tell you, said Sakura as she made some instant coffee. She had become admitted to coffee during the time she had worked late at night at the hospital. So how do you know that nothing didn't happen? asked Kakashi. Because I would be smiling if anything happened, said Sakura sadly as she started drinking her coffee. Where is Naruto-kun? He left 5 minutes ago, to do some running before training, said Kakashi. I see, said Sakura. We are going to train together today, said Kakashi, just like old times. Just like old times, said Sakura with a smile. Meanwhile, Naruto was running as fast as possible across the top of the ancient wall that surrounded the Demon Fox Palace. The ancient walls were older than anything ever built by man and thicker and taller than any two. The red stone burned in the early morn sunlight as Naruto kicked it up another knock. Even to foxes he was fast as he made a 90-degree turn without slowing down easy. What the hell was I thinking last night? Thought Naruto I should have just left, and refused to talk to her, but no, I just had to talk to her. I just had to open up to her. Maybe Saito was right and I do consider her to be my mate. No, Sakura's heart belongs to Sasuke, it always will, said Naruto to himself as he made another turn. There is no reason why she would like me. I am a poor person, I am not rich like Sasuke. I don't look as good as him, I am not as strong as him, I am dead last, he is the top of the class. Sakura-chan requires the best and that isn't me. Naruto is running fast today, father, said Saito as he sat looking out the window from his family's personal dining hall. Yes, said Kyubi as he finished his breakfast. He is working though some emotions. How soon do you think Naruto will master the Sage Mode? Asked Saito. Let's see, said Kyubi. Go get him. Yes, father, said Saito as he ran off to caught Naruto. Naruto stopped for a second as he took a look at his watch. Well, at least I beat my best time by over a minute. Though Naruto as he took in some deep breath, 10 miles in 3 minutes 35 seconds. Well, I say one thing, when you're pissed you can do some amazing things, said Saito as he appeared beside Naruto. What is it, Saito? Asked Naruto as he put his hands on top of his head so he could breathe deeply. My father requires you, said Saito. All right, said Naruto as he and Saito headed off to the Kyubi's personal training area. A moment later, Naruto and Saito stood in front of the Kyubi. You wanted me, sir, said Naruto. I want to see if you have progressed in your mastering of the Sage Mode, said Kyubi. I think I have gotten most of it down now, but not totally, said Naruto. What seems to be the problem? Asked Saito. Let me show you, said Naruto as he formed a chakra channeling hand sign, as red chakra started dancing around him. So far so good, said Saito as pieces of Naruto's flesh started to fall off as his sage form started to form. Across the compound, Sakura and Kakashi could actually feel the ground start to shake. What is going on? Asked Sakura. Unknown to her, the source was Naruto's chakra spiking. Almost there, said Saito as Naruto's eyes turned red for a second before back to their normal blue, only they were silted. The chakra began to leave out as Naruto stopped turning and he entered Sage Mode. You did it, said Saito. Wait, said the Kyubi as Naruto's chakra leave started to go down extremely fast and he left Stage Mode. There, said Naruto. I can enter Stage Mode but I can't sustain it yet. It's chakra, said Kyubi. You have mastered the collection of chakra but stabilizing what you collect is just out of reach. That is what I figured, said Naruto as he looked down at his body. At least it doesn't hurt my body when I turn. Yeah, it used to burn you going into that form, said Saito. You are close, within days of mastering if you push yourself like you normally do, said Kyubi. I will begin at once, said Naruto as he turned and started to walk away. No, said Kyubi as Naruto turned and looked at the demon fox. You need to work on your teamwork with humans, so I want you to work with Kakashi and Sakura, said the Kyubi. Yes, sir, said Naruto, knowing that there was no point in arguing with the Kyubi. Okay, it stopped, said Kakashi. But what was that? Asked Sakura. Oh, that was Naruto, said Katara as she poked her head into the room. What? Asked Sakura. That was him entering Sage Mode. He must be getting close if he made the ground shake like that, said Katara. But not far, Inola, said Naruto as he and Saito entered the room. I still need to master stabilizing the chakra. I see, said Katara, and Lord Kyubi has ordered you to train with the humans. Yes, said Naruto as he looked at Sakura and Kakashi. Be ready in 10 minutes. I am ready now, said Sakura. I need to get some stuff from my room, you two go ahead, said Kakashi as Naruto and Sakura walked out toward the small training field attached to the house. You don't need anything, do you? Asked Saito. You're just trying to give Naruto and Sakura some alone time. Well, said Kakashi as he reached back and pulled out his book. I need to finish this book. Meanwhile, outside in the training field, Naruto and Sakura turned and faced each other. So how do you want to do this? Asked Naruto, only to have Sakura grin a bit. No justice, no weapons, hand-to-hand combat, said Sakura. Alright, said Naruto as he turned and placed his sword and cloak aside, leaving him a black pants and a thin gray shirt. I guess if yesterday proved anything, it is that I need to work some on my hand-to-hand combat. Also, I can show you my strength, thought Sakura as she put on her gloves. Also, we will be very close. You ready, Sakura? Asked Naruto. Bring it, Naruto-kun, said Sakura as Naruto bolted across the ground faster than Sakura ever dreamed possible. However, a second before impact, Sakura raised her hand and caught the punch. Naruto's eyes widened. He hadn't expected her to caught the punch. Sakura grinned as she pulled back her own fist and sent it flying. Instead of caught it, Naruto ducked under it. Then he used his free hand and grabbed the back of Sakura's shirt. Then in one quick movement he flipped her over his back and sent her flying toward the ground. However, Sakura responded because the moment she hit the ground she whipped her leg around, taking out Naruto's footing, causing him to fall on top of Sakura. Sakura had to fight down a blush as she noticed that Naruto was now partly on top of her. However, there was no time for blushing for Naruto as he jumped off Sakura and landed a few feet away. Sakura got up on a knee as she looked at Naruto. He had a slight blush on him. Something wrong, Naruto-kun? Asked Sakura. She will not get the better of me, thought Naruto as he bolted across the training field again, and this time Sakura wasn't ready. He delivered his knee right into Sakura's chin. Blood started to pour out of the edges of her mouth as she went flying back into the dirt. Is something wrong, Sakura? Asked Naruto as Sakura slowly got onto her knees, spitting out some blood. Okay, now he made me mad, thought Sakura as she jumped to her feet and bolted across the training ground and elbowed Naruto in the chest before punching him hard in the face. Naruto was stunned for a moment, and that allowed Sakura to deliver 5 hard gut shots on Naruto. For the 6th shot she pulled back and delivered one extremely hard shot to his gut. When her fist impacted, a mix of spit and blood came out of Naruto's mouth as he stumbled backward. Didn't the Kyuubi warn you about thinking an enemy was out of the fight? Asked Sakura. Yeah, and you should listen to him too, said Naruto as suddenly he bolted across the area and kicked Sakura in the face, so hard that she lifted off the ground. Then he reached up to grab her and slam her down onto his knee. Naruto, stop, ordered Kakashi before Naruto could do anything else to Sakura, who just flew to the ground, bouncing 2 times before stopping. Fine, said Naruto as he looked at Sakura. Blood was pouring out of her nose and sides of her mouth. She was also a little unstable on her feet. At least I showed her, thought Naruto until he started to feel his stomach and chest again. He knew he would have a massive bruise in the morning even with the healing power he got as part of the deal with the Kyuubi. God damn, that fucking hurt. She is not the same weak Sakura-chan that she was when we were genin. I hope I didn't hurt her. Sakura, go rest, let Naruto and I work, said Kakashi. Okay, said Sakura as she applied healing chakra to her face as she walked inside and sat down in a small living room. Why does Naruto-kun did that? Does he not care about me? Asked Sakura out loud. I know that training is supposed to be hard, but not like this. The point is to get better, not beat each other up. I need find a way to get Naruto to love me again. I knew it, said a voice as Sakura looked over the couch to see Katara standing there. You love Naruto? Crap, said Sakura. Well, today is your lucky day, Sakura. I am willing to help you win the young man's heart, said Katara. I don't think you will be much help to me, said Sakura. He must not care that much about me after what he did today. He cares, said Katara as Sakura looked at her, and he hates himself for letting you in. You're winning his heart, and that tough male side of him doesn't want to admit it. Makes sense, said inner Sakura. Naruto-kun is pissed because we are winning the fight for his heart. Besides, who has been around Naruto all these years? Who knows how he has changed? Asked Katara. Face it, young vixen, you need me. She is right, and we need to get Naruto-kun back before Hinata or some other bitch tries to take him away when he comes back to the village, said inner Sakura. Okay, what do you suggest? Asked Sakura. Every vixen has their charm, even you. We just need to find something that will make Naruto's emotional walls come crashing down, said Katara. But you said it yourself, I don't look as good as the other girls. said Sakura sadly. Every male is attracted to different things. We just need to find out what Naruto likes in a vixen and make that stand out in you, said Katara. That will get him interested and then you can build from there. What does Naruto-kun like? Asked Sakura. What do all males like in a vixen? It's on their minds 24 hours a day, asked Katara. They love sex, so make yourself look sexy. Meanwhile, out in the real world, Sasuke Uchiha stood in the early morning sunlight. In front of him stood a white-skinned man. It is time to test your skills, said Orochimaru. How so? Asked Sasuke. Are you my opponent? Heavens no, laughed Orochimaru as 1,000 ninjas appeared out of a nearby woods. Sasuke didn't even blink. Ah, what power you must have to face 1,000 enemies and not even blink. With that, he disappeared from the battlefield as the soldiers charged forward to kill Sasuke, but it was pointless as Sasuke began cutting them down with ease. Amazing, said Orochimaru. He will make the perfect vessel. Yes, my lord, said Kabuto. Unknown to them, another pair of eyes was on Sasuke, and these were not human. Yes, he is perfect, hissed the scout snake as he prepared to make his move. Later that night, Sasuke Uchiha sat in his room in meditation. Show yourself, ordered Sasuke as a black and green snake maybe 2 yards long appeared from out of the darkness. Hello, Sasuke Uchiha, I am Bilal, hissed the snake, stressing the S as Sasuke's name. You are not one of the Orochimaru's summons, stated Sasuke. Very good, human, hissed Bilal. I am a messenger of Lord Sheamus, ruler of all demon snakes. We want you. Why should I care about you? Said Sasuke. Does the name Naruto Uzumaki ring a bell? Asked Bilal as Sasuke's eyes widened. Flashback in the Valley of the End. A 12-year-old Sasuke held Naruto up with a Chidori in his hand. It's time for you to die, Naruto, said Sasuke as he quickly stabbed Naruto in the chest. He could feel Naruto's blood run onto his arm. Sasuke quickly ripped his arm out as blood started to pour out of Naruto's body. Goodbye, dead last. With that, Sasuke tossed Naruto into the fast-moving water coming off the waterfall. End flashback. He is dead, I killed him, stated Sasuke. No, he is alive, said Bilal as Sasuke's head snapped around. What? Asked Sasuke. After you failed to kill him, he was rescued by demons sealed within him, the Kyuubi, said Bilal. I see, so that was the source of Dead Last's power, said Sasuke as the pieces fell into place. Yes, and now he has the Demon Fox Summon Pack and has been trained by them in ways that makes him one of the most powerful ninjas in the world, said Bilal. He is no match for me and he will never be, said Sasuke defiantly. Are you sure? Asked Bilal. Because we can offer you the Demon Snake Summoning Pack. Why? Asked Sasuke. I am assuming that you are not doing this out of kindness. Of course not, we want you to complete what you started years ago and kill the Kyuubi's student, said Bilal. And what do I get out of this? Asked Sasuke. True power, said Bilal. Power that will crush anyone before you, power that this foolish human you call your master could only dream of. For a brief moment Sasuke sat there thinking. Very well, but before I take on Dead Last I must kill someone else, said Sasuke. Whom? Asked Bilal. My elder brother Itachi Uchiha. I have sworn to kill him, said Sasuke. Very well, said Bilal. It will allow us to see your skills, but first you need to get rid of your certain master. I need the summoning pack, said Sasuke. You must go to my master for that, said Bilal, and only after you get rid of Orochimaru. Very well, said Sasuke as he stood up and picked up his sword as Bilal slithered up Sasuke's leg before finding a place around Sasuke's neck. What are you doing? I am required to go with you, to help you if needed, said Bilal. Your help will not be needed, said Sasuke. Then consider me an audience, hissed Bilal as Sasuke left the room and headed toward Orochimaru's room. They stopped outside of Orochimaru's door. Bilal watched as Sasuke raised his hand and pointed toward a simple-looking door. Suddenly a ray of lightning chakra shot out going through the door. On the other side of door Orochimaru was caught unaware as his hands were speared though by Sasuke's attack. Interesting attack, thought Bilal as Sasuke cut the door apart and entered the room. Orochimaru sat on his bed. His arms were crossed with Sasuke's attack running through both of them. Sasuke? Asked Orochimaru. You came just as I knew you would, but sooner than I thought. He had some encouragement, hissed Bilal. Who are you? Asked Orochimaru. I am Bilal Massager for the Lord of all demon snakes, said Bilal as Orochimaru's eyes widened. Lord Seamus? Asked Orochimaru as he remembered the legends about the demon snakes. He always believed them to be myths, but now he saw one. Yes, said Bilal, and my master wants Sasuke. As such, I no longer need you, said Sasuke, and I have nothing more to learn from you. Orochimaru couldn't move as Sasuke walked closer and closer to him. Orochimaru, you are weaker than me, and soon I will have the summon skills. I will be even stronger, said Sasuke as he walked closer to Orochimaru. There is no reason to give you my body anymore. You have the nerve to do this, after all that I have done, said Orochimaru. You used me as your toy, like you have with so many others, said Sasuke. You toyed with people, used them for your own goal, and now the tables are turned and someone toyed with you. Damn you, Uchiha, I will have your body, hissed Orochimaru. I don't think so, said Sasuke as he moved forward and raised his sword to kill Orochimaru. However, at the last moment, Orochimaru opened his mouth as something darted out. Sasuke slowly turned and looked at the new source of chakra. There was a huge white snake made out hundreds if not thousands of white snakes, with a face that looked like a snake version of Orochimaru. A white snake covered with white scales, said Orochimaru. So that is your true form? All the experiments he did changed his form, said Bilal. Now Sasuke, I will have your body, said Orochimaru as he lunged forward to take Sasuke. Sasuke jumped over the attack with ease. However, dozens of white snakes shot of Orochimaru's body as they tried to capture Sasuke. However, Bilal's eyes glowed a sick green as the snake stopped moving. What the? Asked Orochimaru. Did you forget I am a demon snake? Your snakes know that I am a higher rank and they must follow my will, said Bilal. I will take care of this, said Sasuke. Stay out of this. If you use your curse mark, you will win with ease. However, your curse mark doesn't go well with us, said Bilal as Sasuke felt a pain in his curse mark. What the? Asked Sasuke. I am changing your curse mark. It will now be the seal of the demon snake, said Bilal as the curse mark changed to the image of a black snake inside a white circle. Now you may fight him alone. Very well, said Sasuke as Bilal slithered off Sasuke and lied beside the door looking in, an audience for the battle to come. This should be very amusing, said Bilal as Sasuke formed his chakra into a blade made out lightning. I don't care what that demon snake did, your body will be mine, said Orochimaru as he lunged forward only to have Sasuke cut him down with ease. That was too easy, said Sasuke as he looked at Orochimaru. He was cut into 4 pieces. First rule of battle, Sasuke, never consider an enemy dead until they are underground, said Bilal as Orochimaru started laughing. Foolish boy, your body is mine. See, you are breathing in a toxic gas, said Orochimaru as everything changed. Now Sasuke was standing in an endless room that looked like an internal organ. Slowly it wrapped his body up until only the face remained. As that was happening, another form appeared, this one of Orochimaru. He too was wrapped in the fleshly material that made the room. This is a world I created, Sasuke, and it is where I will take your body, said Orochimaru as Sasuke's Sharingan eyes glowed. Foolish old man, you should have learned by now. No Justu is immune to these eyes, said Sasuke as the fleshly binds holding him turned black before they started to mold into a 3-headed beast. No, this is impossible. I am the immortal Orochimaru, pleaded Orochimaru as he looked death in the face. Foolish humans, all things die, said a new voice as a huge snake appeared. Its glowing green eyes were housed inside a black body with a blood-red check pattern on his back. His cobra hood casted a dark shadow over everything. Who are you? Asked Sasuke. He is Lord Seamus, king of all demon snakes, said Bilal. The snake seal informed me of your location, and the reports were wrong, said Seamus with a smile as his forked tongue poked in and out of his mouth. You are stronger than they said. I will be stronger than I seal Orochimaru within me, said Sasuke. Please, he will be like a cancer within you, always trying to get out. Just kill him and get it over with, said Bilal. My son is correct, kill him now, and I will give you the summoning pack, hissed Seamus. Very well, said Sasuke as he raised his sword with one quick move cut Orochimaru's head off. Instantly everything changed to show a dark pearly light room. The smooth stone floors reflected the light, giving everything a ghostly glow. Welcome Sasuke Uchiha to the throne room of the demon snakes, said Seamus. I see, said Sasuke. You transported us after I killed Orochimaru? Yes, because it is time for you to go through the summon ritual, said Seamus. Follow us. Sasuke walked through the dark hallways. Even Orochimaru's bases were bright compared to these. The only real source of light came from the few small torches and light bouncing off the red glowing eyes of snake statues. Finally, they turned the corner to show a small open area surrounded by torches. In the center of the room were two large stone snakes facing each other. In between the snakes was a stone altar. On the altar, being held by two more smaller stone snakes, was a scroll. Also, two smaller snakes decorated the bottom of the altar. The Demon Snake Summoning Scroll, stated Sasuke as Seamus wrapped around the altar before facing Sasuke. Yes, Sasuke Uchiha, you have proven yourself when you killed your old master Orochimaru, but now are you willing to accept true power? Hissed Seamus. As long as I kill Itachi and Naruto, I will do anything, said Sasuke. Very good, with the power of the snake you will be my tool to take down the demon fox and his allies, said Seamus. Now reach out and take the scroll. Seamus watched as Sasuke reached out and touched the scroll. Instantly the stone snakes moved and all six of them struck with lightning speed, speeds that not even Sasuke could follow. Their fangs sunk into Sasuke's body. The two larger snakes bit his shoulders, the two small ones on the top of the altar bit his hands as the bottom snake bit his feet. Sasuke couldn't help but wince in pain as poison ran into his body. What the? Asked Sasuke. This is the price of true power, Sasuke Uchiha, said Seamus with a grin. If you survive, that is. The Kyuubi and his weak allies are too chicken to use this method to gain strength because of the likelihood of death. Sasuke wanted to fall down, but the stone snakes kept him standing up. It hurt more than anything he had ever gone, though even the curse mark wasn't as bad as this. We will learn if you made it in 24 hours, said Seamus as demon chakra began to infusion into Sasuke's body. Meanwhile, in the village hidden in the leaves, Tsunade sat behind her desk as members of the council stood before her. The council was made out of the 7 top clans in the village. When the village first formed, there was 9 clans, but the Uchiha clan was gone except for Sasuke and Itachi, and as far as the council knew, the Namikaze clan died with Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage. Lady Tsunade, we have heard some disturbing news, said the current head of council, Hayashi Hyuga, head of the Hyuga clan. What news is that? Asked Tsunade. One of the lower clans informed us that you made a deal with the Kyuubi? Asked Hayashi. We didn't want to believe this until I asked a member of my clan, only to find out it was true. So Hinata let it out? Asked Tsunade. We are not here to talk about my daughter, said Hayashi. We are here because you made a deal with the Kyuubi. Yeah, I did, said Tsunade. We share a common enemy in the Akatsuki, and Naruto has become very strong, and it is in the best interest of the village. The Kyuubi tried to destroy the village. Snapped Saminuzuka. That fox killed a lot of my clan, including my husband. How dare you make a deal with the fox? The past is in the past, there is nothing we can do about it, and I believe the Kyuubi's story about why he attacked the village, said Tsunade. What are his reasons? Asked Shikaku Nara, father of Shikamaru Nara. Who cares, he killed them, yelled Some, showing that fierceness that was well known in her clan. He was being controlled, said Tsunade, by one of our own. What? Asked Choza Akimichi. He was being controlled the power of Madara Uchiha, said Tsunade, and his Mangekyo Sharingan. He died years ago at the hands of the first Hokage, said Hayashi. No body was ever found, said Tsunade, and we all know the stories of the power of his Sharingan. It is possible that a Sharingan of that power could control a demon, said Shikaku. You can't possibly believe this, said Inoichi Yamanaka, father to Ino Yamanaka. I am not saying it's the truth, but is it possible? Yes, said Shikaku. It would make sense. My grandfather told me stories about Madara Uchiha and his hatred of the village. I could see him wanting to destroy it. No matter, we don't want the demon's child back, he can stay with his own kind, said Hayashi Hyuga. Well, if he chooses to come back, and I think he will, there is nothing you can do to stop him, said Tsunade. We will mark him as a missing ninja with a kill on sight order, said Hayashi. You can only do that with a full council vote and have me sign off on it, and I am not going to sign that, said Tsunade with a smile as Hayashi Hyuga glared at her. So why don't you all get out of my office? Sakura didn't get much sleep that night as she prepared to follow Katara's advice in how to get a mate. Flashback. What? Asked Sakura. Just look as sexy as possible, said Katara. Like a members of the male sex, all it takes some sexy actions by a vixen to get them interested, and since Naruto is already interested, all it takes is a final push to get the over the edge. I am not sure this would work, said Sakura. Trust me, males in general are the same, they tend to have a few things on their mind at all time and sex is one of them, said Katara with a smile. I think you and my friend Ino would get along great, said Sakura. You two seem to share the same line of thinking. Well, not all humans are dumb, but it will take a true genius to bring out your features, said Katara as Sakura glared at her. End flashback. Katara had gone out those Sakura's cloths and picked out what would drive Naruto wild, and Sakura had to admit she was in such a rush to pack that she had thrown her whole closet into her bag, including the stuff she got just to shut Ino up when they went shopping. It seems that Ino and Katara shared the same line of thought when it came to cloths, the sexier the better. Sakura, it's time to train, yelled Naruto from downstairs. Kakashi was allowed to go back to the Leaf for the day and inform the Hokage about the situation, but everyone knew he was really only to give a report about Naruto. Coming, said Sakura as she stood up and headed toward the door. Meanwhile, outside in the inner courtyard, Naruto stood waiting along with Saito. Waiting for someone isn't like you, said Saito as he looked at Naruto. You are always rushed toward training and never waiting for anyone. Yeah, and your point is? Asked Naruto. It is that you are changing because of the vixen, said Saito as he looked up and grinned. And looks like the vixen wants to strut her stuff. What? Asked Naruto as he turned around and saw what Sakura had on. Her normal outfit was gone. Instead, she had a red sleeveless top that hugged her sides and made her look bigger and showed a lot of cleavage. The top ended just below her before showing her toned stomach. Her skirt, which used to go about 3/4 the way to her knees, was now a short red mini skirt that went 1/2 the old distance with black fishnet shorts under it. Her normal boots were also gone. Instead, her new boots had opening along the side showing more skin. To top it all off, her finger/toe nails were painted the same shade of red as her cloths. Just look at him, thought Sakura as she couldn't help but grin at the look on Naruto's face. His eyes followed her with each step down the staircase. We so have him, said inner Sakura. I hope, said Sakura back as she stopped right in front of Naruto. So what is on the training schedule today? Asked Sakura. For a second Naruto couldn't think. Her was Sakura dressed in the hottest thing he had ever seen her in, and then she must have used a stronger version of her shampoo because he could smell her strawberry-scented shampoo mixed in with her own natural scent. It was driving him insane as he hoped Sakura didn't notice the bulge that was growing in the front of his pants. Some mediation and then some physical training, said Naruto as he tried to notice that he had a clean view down at Sakura's cleavage. Being tall had some advances. Okay, shall we get going? Asked Sakura. Sure, said Naruto as Sakura started to walk toward the training field. Sakura's hips were moving side to side in such a way that made her even sexier. Little did he know Sakura was giving him that show. Now Saito looked toward the staircase only to see Katara standing there with a smile on her face. Should have known this was your doing, thought Saito as Katara disappeared around the corner. Back in the Leaf, Kakashi stood before Lady Tsunade. He is that powerful? Asked Tsunade. Yeah, he is by far the strongest person I have ever seen at his age. Even Itachi wasn't as good as him, said Kakashi. But Itachi has the Sharingan, said Shizen as she stood beside Tsunade. The Sharingan means next to nothing compared to what Naruto can do, said Kakashi. How? Asked Tsunade. Part of his training is having access to demon chakra. His eyes turn into normal red eyes with slits that we all saw whenever Kyuubi chakra leaked out before, said Kakashi as they all remembered those silted red eyes. Well, they cancel out the effects of the Sharingan. It was a waste of chakra to even use it on him. If he can stop the Sharingan, then he can go up against Sasuke's or Itachi's Sharingan and be on equal footing, said Shizen. I wouldn't be so sure, said Tsunade. What do you mean? Asked Shizen. Naruto may be good in training and in power. However, it takes years to develop instinct in battle, the ability to sense a trap or know the enemy's location and what their next move is, said Tsunade. That takes years of actually going out on missions to develop that, and I have the feeling that when Naruto comes back to the village he will force himself to go on the most dangerous mission. Well, Naruto has always been a fast learner when he wants to be, said Kakashi. And how is Sakura doing? Asked Tsunade. Well, Naruto is showing interest, but he seems to be torn in his emotions. He wants to be with Sakura so much I see it from a distance, but yet he beats her up any chance he gets, said Kakashi. He is worried and scarred, said Tsunade as Shizen and Kakashi looked at her. He is worried that Sakura may actually like him now, but he's scared to show it because he is afraid of rejection. Shizen and Kakashi lowered their heads. Yeah, Naruto has been shown so little kindness and has been so alone in his life that he doesn't want his heart broken, said Shizen. Makes sense, said Kakashi as he looked toward the demon fox that had been sent with him to bring him back to the demon world when done. How about we grab something to eat? Lord Kyuubi said to return as soon as possible, said the fox. Well, you said it takes a lot of chakra to go back and forth between our world and yours, so why don't we let you rest some more? Said Kakashi. Very well, said the fox, it will give Naruto and the pink vixen some more alone time. Back in the demon world, Sakura and Naruto sat Indian style across from each other. So what are we trying to do? Asked Sakura. I am trying to master the Sage Mode, said Naruto. Sage Mode? Asked Sakura. Basically, I am learning how to gather natural chakra and combine it with physical and spiritual energy to enter a form that is extremely powerful. Said Naruto, I have mastered gathering the chakra and physical, I can handle it. What about the spiritual energy? Asked Sakura. That is my problem, that is the chakra that keeps everything in check, and that is where I am having the problem. Said Naruto, once I master that I will master Sage Mode and finish my training. I see, said Sakura as she remembered back to the tree climbing training with Kakashi and Sasuke. So even after all these years you're having problems controlling chakra, maybe I should give you another hint. Can't really help me with this, Sakura-chan. Spiritual energy is based on your own personal demons, and if you have settled them. Said Naruto, I have settled all my demons but one. I thought you hated the villagers for what they have done to you, said Sakura. I do, said Naruto. Then how can you have settled all your demons if you hate them? Asked Sakura. Because I know I hate them, so it doesn't bother me anymore. Said Naruto, I would love to hurt them, but I know they only blamed the Kyuubi for the deaths of their loved ones. So what is this last demon? Asked Sakura. You, answered Naruto. Me? Asked Sakura. Correct, said Naruto as he looked into Sakura's sea green eyes. So I have to ask, why are you dressed like that? You look like you're going to go out on the town to party, not on a training session. What do we say? Asked inner Sakura. The truth, said Sakura back. Naruto's been hurt too much by our words in the past. I am not hurting him now with a lie. Well, the truth is, Naruto-kun, I was trying to get you to like me before you go back to the Leaf, and see that compared to the other girls I don't look the greatest, said Sakura as she remembered Katara's words about how she didn't look as good as Ino and Hinata. I thought I needed to make myself look sexy so that you would become interested in me again. I would be lying, Sakura-chan, if I didn't say that I didn't look at how a woman looks, said Naruto. I am a guy after all. However, what also matters to me is the woman's personality, her kindness, her gentleness, her strength, and her self-confidence. And Sakura dressing like that gets my attention in a physical sense, but it does nothing for what really matters. We screwed up, said Sakura. Yeah, we may have gotten him aroused, but we haven't won his heart, said inner Sakura. Sorry, Naruto-kun, I listened to Katara against my better interest, said Sakura. I figured. Now I am saying never to dress like that because it makes you looks very, very good, said Naruto with a perverted grin, a grin not unlike those stupid grins he did as a kid. Sakura's eyes narrowed before punching Naruto in the face. That punch sent him flying back into the wall of the courtyard, making a crater on impact. Baka, said Sakura as she turned and walked away to change out of those cloths. However, as she walked, she gave Naruto a show by making sure to move her hips from side to side, all the while smiling. She now knew that Naruto was interested, and what he liked. Elsewhere in the demon world, Seamus stood looking at Sasuke. They were moments away from finding out if Sasuke survived the infusion of demon chakra. Are you sure this human is going to be useful? Said a new voice as Seamus looked toward the darkness. A large black scorpion with glowing golden eyes appeared out of the darkness. Akamari, what is the Lord of all Scorpions doing here? Said Seamus to his allies. Now the snakes, scorpions, and sharks were all in an alliance together, but it was a tense alliance where they friend one moment could turn on you in the next. We are worried about the use of this human, said another voice as a large white shark full of razor-sharp teeth. Now demon sharks were naturally strong in water, but channeling their chakra allowed them to fly through air as if it was water. Nico, Lord of all demon sharks, said Seamus, so all three of us are gathered here. Yes, the human is a concern, said Kamari. But so is the human the Kyuubi has taken as his student, said Seamus. So you wish to counteract the Kyuubi's human with your own? Asked Nico. That is the plan, said Seamus as he spoke. The stone snakes that had been infusioned Sasuke with demon chakra released and returned to their original spots. To everyone's amazement, Sasuke was still standing. The wounds from the snake bites quickly healed at a speed faster than even Naruto's. "Sasuke Uchiha, are you there?" said Seamus as Sasuke turned and looked toward the group of demons. His Sharingan itself had changed. No longer was it red with black commas, it was pure black with bone-white comments. "Did you expect me to die?" hissed Sasuke in a voice that even made the demons a little afraid and would scare a human into the grave. "Actually, I did. No human has ever made it through the process alive," said Seamus, "and now all you have to do is sign the contract with your blood." They all sat there and watched as Sasuke reached out and took the scroll from its resting place. He quickly signed his name to the scroll before placing it back in the holder. "Now what to do for your first task?" asked Seamus. "Is it to kill my brother?" said Sasuke. "It would be a good way to test your skills." "Very well," said Seamus, "but how do you plan to do it?" "I am going to form a small team of 3 other people to help me track him down and keep his Akatsuki allies out of the fight," said Sasuke. "Sounds like a plan," said Seamus. "If you are going to form a team and if Seamus is going to use you against the Kyuubi's human, then we might as well go all the way," said Nico. "You are not considering?" asked Kamari. "Yes, we use all 4 summons packs," said Nico. "Sounds like a good idea to me. They may be useful as front-line soldiers against the Kyuubi and his allies when the war comes," said Seamus. "All right," said Nico as Seamus looked at Sasuke. "Sasuke, bring us 3 more people and we will choose from them to sign our summoning pack," said Seamus. "At once," said Sasuke as Bilal slithered up to Sasuke from the darkness, and he transported Sasuke back to the human world. Kakashi had come back a few hours ago and after a bit of light training had gone to bed. Naruto had decided to go back to meditations, and in hopes that Sakura wouldn't find him, he had moved to the roof of the building just looking up at the full moon. However, it was all in vain as Sakura appeared beside him. She had changed back into her normal outfit. "Nice moon tonight," said Sakura as she looked up at the full moon high above them. She could see the lights from the village that she wasn't allowed to go to. "Yeah, it is," said Naruto. "Naruto, what is the Demon Fox village like? I mean outside these walls?" asked Sakura. "Well, it is a lot like the village hidden in the leaves, people going about their day. Going to work, paying bills and raising their families," said Naruto. "They tend to look at me every time I leave these walls." "Naruto-kun, do you miss the village?" asked Sakura. "Do you miss going out on missions?" "On some levels, yeah," said Naruto. "Every once in a while I feel nostalgic and think back about our missions." "Naruto-kun, I know can't talk you out of bring Sasuke back to the village, can I?" asked Sakura. "No, I will keep my promise to you, Sakura-chan. I know you will be happy with Sasuke, your true love," said Naruto with just a little amount of hurt in his voice. "Listen, Naruto-kun, not to belittle your sacrifice in coming here and cutting off all human contact," said Sakura, "but people change, Naruto-kun, and I would rather have you back than Sasuke." "Sakura, how could you turn your back on him?" asked Naruto. "Naruto, he betrayed the village and tried to kill you," said Sakura. "He turned his back on us." "Just because he turned his back on us doesn't mean we have to turn our back to him," said Naruto as he leaned back on the slanted tiled roof and looked up at the stars. "If anything, we have to try harder to get him back." "Maybe he was always evil," said Sakura. "He was always out to get revenge on someone who I don't know." "Itachi," said Naruto as Sakura looked at him. "Sasuke was after his older brother Itachi, who had killed his entire clan in a single night before joining the Akatsuki. Sasuke has led a tough life with no family, and we can't turn our back on him or else he will be alone." "Listen, Naruto, you can't put the fact that Sasuke lost his parents as a reason he betrayed the village. You had no family, and you didn't betray us," said Sakura. "Yeah, but to have a family and then lose it must be harder than never having a family," said Naruto. "And never having one is just as hard. I mean, I am sorry for everything I said and did that hurt you back when we were kids," said Sakura. "Thanks, but it was too late," said Naruto as Sakura's heart started to break, fearing he hated her. "I forgave you and the others are a long time ago. You were just following your parents' wishes." "I still had to say sorry," said Sakura. "However," said Naruto as he tightened his fist, "I haven't forgiven those bastards back in the Leaf who treated me like shit and knew what I had done for the village. They used a kid, a baby, to seal a king of demons, and then they treat that baby who is holding that demon back like shit." "It isn't right," said Sakura. "Of course it isn't right," yelled Naruto at the top of his lungs at Sakura. Naruto-kun is touching about letting people in, said inner Sakura. Yeah, it is because of all the pain he went through as a kid, said Sakura back. It will take a lot of time to heal those wounds. Yeah, it will, said inner Sakura back. And I know where to start, said Sakura back as she reached into pouch and pulled out an item. Naruto-kun, I have something to show you, said Sakura as Naruto sat up and looked at what Sakura was holding. There in her hands was his handband, the same one he had on when he was fighting Sasuke. Where did you get this? Asked Naruto. They bury the headbands with the ninja. Normally yes, but if the family asks for it they get it. I asked Lady Tsunade for it. I just couldn't let it go, it was all I had left of you, said Sakura as she ran her fingers across the metal headband. And I have kept it all these years, but I think it should go back to you. Sakura held out the headband as Naruto slowly took it into his hands and just looked at it. Put it on, Naruto-kun, said Sakura. I don't think it will fit anymore, said Naruto. It's worth a try, said Sakura as Naruto raised his headband back to his forehead and tried to tie it on, but it was too short. Well, it doesn't fit, said Naruto as he looked at the headband again, only to have Sakura take it out of his hand. Naruto watched as Sakura tied it to his upper arm. Yes, it does, said Sakura. You just need to know where to put it. Naruto just sat there looking at the headband on his arm. It felt so strange but yet so familiar to have that headband on, even if it was in a different location. Naruto, I have one other thing to give you, said Sakura as she pulled out a half-burnt photo from her pouch. Naruto noticed the photo. It was the one he used to look at before he would fall asleep. It was the picture of Team 7, Naruto and Sasuke standing side by side glaring at each other, while Sakura smiled in between them with Kakashi over them. The image was burned around the edges and the part of the photo with Sasuke's face was burnt to a crisp. However, it was in a new frame. Where did you get this? Asked Naruto. From your place, said Sakura. Flashback. It was just after the funeral for Naruto, and Sakura was walking around in a daze. She had no idea on how she ended up at Naruto's apartment. She looked up at the broken door, wondering why it was down. She reached out for the door knob only to have the entire door fall down. She walked into the main room to see a burnt-out couch, broken glass, and other trash. On the wall beside the spray-painted words, "The demon is finally dead and have fun in hell where human waste," as if some sick person had thrown it along the wall. Why did someone do this? Asked Sakura as she looked at the destroyed room. She could see the inside of some walls. She moved toward the bedroom only to see the entire room was burnt. The bed was the worst. She walked over to the nightstand and picked up a half-burned photo. The frame had protected most of it, but the edges along with Sasuke's face was burned to pieces. Naruto-kun, said Sakura as she ran her fingers across the still hot glass. Who are you? Asked a new voice as Sakura looked toward the door to see a short, extremely fat, balding man. She knew him from around town as the owner of many apartment buildings, and this was one of his buildings. Therefore he was Naruto's landlord. Sakura Haruno, I was on Naruto's team, said Sakura, and I just wanted to see his things. But what happened here? You're too young to understand, stated the landlord. Now get out so I can clean this place, and finally make some money on this place. Alright, said Sakura as she looked at the photo. Is it alright that I take this? Sure, why the hell would I care? Said the landlord. It's one less thing I have to clean up. Thank you, said Sakura as she pushed past him and headed out the door with the photo. I guess someone has to miss the demon, said the landlord as Sakura exited the apartment and headed home. End flashback. I put it in a new frame, said Sakura. I hope that's okay? It's fine, Sakura-chan, said Naruto as he looked at himself dressed up in a bright orange jumpsuit. I was an idiot for wearing that stupid thing. Yeah, but you were a lovable idiot, said Sakura with a smile as Naruto lowered his head. Listen, Sakura-chan, I know you like me, but I am not good for you, said Naruto, his head still looking at the ground. Sasuke, when he gets back, can give you a lot more than me. I am poor, he comes from a rich clan. I am a demon's child, he is the golden child. He is better than me, and you deserve the best. Naruto felt Sakura's hand on his chin. She pulled his head up and looked Naruto's blue eyes. Sasuke may have money but not your heart. I know you would never turn your back on friends like Sasuke did. You never go back on your word, said Sakura as she moved forward so her hot breath could be felt on Naruto's lips. As for you not being good for me. With that she pressed her lips against his and Sakura started kissing him. For a moment Naruto didn't return the kiss, but slowly he started to kiss her back. It was slow, as if he was afraid to show his feelings. Sakura pulled back for some air but kept their foreheads pressed together so she could look straight into those warm blue eyes and he could look into those sea green eyes. Let me decide that, Naruto-kun, said Sakura softly as she kissed Naruto again, and this time he returned the kiss right away. On a nearby rooftop, Saito sat watching Naruto and Sakura kissing on top of their roof. I expected better than that from you, Naruto. You let the vixen win, said Saito. You let her get control. Control is the wrong word, Saito, said a voice as Saito looked toward his right as Katara appeared out of the wind. What would you call it? Asked Saito as Katara walked up and sat beside her future mate. Love, said Katara as she looked into his eyes, and as much as you hate to admit it, you know Naruto loves Sakura just like you love me. I don't love you, snapped Saito. Yeah, right, said Katara with a laugh. Did you not think I would notice you checking me out or looking at me from across the table, even before our parents told us we were arranged for mating? Saito didn't say anything. He was too busy trying to think of a way out of this. However, not talking gave Katara the opening she needed. You can play the tough, cold-hearted fox all you want, but like Naruto, deep down you're emotional and just want to be loved, said Katara. I am Prince of the Demon Foxes, next in line for the throne of the Demon Foxes, said Saito. You also lost your mom, your baby sister, and then your father in the span of a week, said Katara as Saito looked at the ground as he tried not to remember the hardest week in his life. You may have gotten your father back, but that was after 12 years of being without a family. While 12 years is a short time for us, it is still time away from your only living family. Shut up, Katara, said Saito as he disappeared into a ball of flames. Looks like you will be harder for me to open up than Naruto were for Sakura, said Katara. However, I have more time to play with. Meanwhile, in the human world, Sasuke Uchiha walked down a darkened room full of huge test tubes full of water. He walked up to the largest one, separated from the others. I knew it was you, said a voice from the tube. The fact that you are here proves that you were the one who killed Orochimaru. Yes, answered Sasuke, but first let's get you out of there. With that, Sasuke cut across the tube, releasing the water. The water poured out onto the floor into a large pool. From that pool a human face appeared. Free at last, said a nude man about Sasuke's age. He had white hair with deep purple eyes and sharp shark-like teeth. Yeah, Suigetsu, you're the first, said Sasuke. First, so you're forming a team? Asked Suigetsu. Yes, Karen from the southern hideout, and Yugo from the northern hideout, said Sasuke. Those two, I don't like those two, said Suigetsu. You liking those two is not my concern, said Sasuke. Put some cloths on, we are leaving. Who are you to order me around? You may have freed me, but you don't own me, said Suigetsu as Sasuke turned walked out of the base. What are you doing? Asked Bilal as he slithered up to Sasuke as he walked out of the base. Just wait, said Sasuke as they became two, headed out of the base. Then just after sunrise they came across Suigetsu swimming in a large pool of water in the middle of the road. It was your team, wasn't it? The team that took down Zabuza Momochi? Asked Suigetsu as he turned and looked at Sasuke. What happened to his blade? Sasuke didn't say anything. He just stood there and watched Suigetsu swim in the pool he had created. Okay, how about this? You give me the blade and I'll help you in whatever you're planning, said Suigetsu. Sasuke just looked at him before walking across the water. Put some clothes on, said Sasuke. Fine, said Suigetsu. Naruto sat in meditation, but his mind was focused of what had happened the night before. Sakura had kissed him. Sakura, the girl he had a crush on this before he could remember, had kissed him. Oh, how he loved the taste of her lips on his. The slight moan she gave off when he brushed some of her hair behind her ears sounded like music to him. His entire body felt as if electricity was running through it even just thinking about it. You seem happy today, Naruto, said the Kyuubi as he appeared beside the young ninja. Yeah, well, said Naruto. You kissed the vixen, didn't you? Asked Kyuubi. How did you know? Asked Naruto, slightly embarrassed. The Kyuubi had become almost like a father to him. The outer perimeter guards were interested in what was going on. Said Kyuubi, next time do it in a more private area. Sorry, said Naruto. At least you didn't go all the way, did you? Asked Kyuubi. No, I didn't, said Naruto. Do you really think I would be that careless? No, but emotions tend to be strong in the first love and you don't get second chances, said Kyuubi. I know, and nothing happened, we only kissed, said Naruto. Okay, but do you love her? asked Kyubi as Naruto closed his eyes and let out a breath. Yeah, I think I do, said Naruto. Very well, follow me, said Kyubi as the two of them headed toward a training field. Back in the human world, Suigetsu, who was now dressed in a purple sleeveless shirt with light blue pants, walked up to a large bridge along with Sasuke. The Great Naruto Bridge, read Suigetsu. What a strange name. Yes, I guess it is, said Sasuke. Is this Naruto the same who is the Kyubi student? Asked Bilal. Correct, said Sasuke as he headed toward a side path that led toward the place where Team 7 had left the sword. When they got up there, they found the sword gone. No sword, no deal, said Suigetsu. Why don't we get something to eat before going our separate ways? A couple minutes later, they were sitting in an ice cream bar eating with girls watching every one of Sasuke's moves. Looks like you're a ladies' man, Sasuke, said Suigetsu as a lady carrying a new bowl of ice cream walked up. Hello? Said Suigetsu as the woman kept looking at Sasuke with a huge blush on her face. What can I do? Asked the woman. Well, he is looking for that huge sword that was by the bridge, said Suigetsu as the woman ran off before coming back a moment later with a dozen other girls, all screaming the same basic thing. Tazuna, who lives by the river, he would know. Tazuna, said Sasuke as he remembered the bridge builder's face from that mission years ago. Let's go, Suigetsu. Meanwhile, in the demon world, Naruto stood before the Kyubi. What, we tried that a few days ago, and I couldn't have mastered the control that soon, said Naruto. Just try the Sage Mode again, ordered Kyubi as Naruto formed the seal. To his surprise, the Sage Mode started to appear faster than it ever had before, and soon he was in full Sage Mode, and then to his surprise the chakra leveled out, and he was in control. How could I have mastered it already? Asked Naruto as he looked at his hand. The vixen, said Kyubi. Yeah, she was my problem, but all we did was kiss. How could that make the difference? Asked Naruto. It isn't the kiss per se, it is that fact that you accepted the fact that you love her, said Kyubi. You were torn in your feelings and that unbalance caused your problem, so now it is gone. Are you saying just by saying I love Sakura-chan was all I need to allow me to use Sage Mode? Asked Naruto. No, just saying it isn't all you need to believe it in your heart, said Kyubi. You needed to settle the issue of Sakura. You could have decided to hate her, and you would have still mastered Sage Mode. You wanted me to hate her? Asked Naruto as he showed his teeth. No, but if you had decided to hate her, then the issue would have been settled and you would master Sage Mode, said Kyubi as he looked at his student. I am actually pleased you picked to love the vixen. Why? Asked Naruto. Naruto, to love a vixen is a double-edged sword, said the Kyubi. If you truly love her, she is the source of your biggest strength and your biggest weakness. I don't really follow? Asked Naruto. She is a source of weakness because emotional. If anything would happen to her, you wouldn't know what to do with yourself, and you would never forgive yourself for it, said Kyubi as he remembered watching his mate-to-be die on that rain-soaked battlefield during the Demon War. However, she is your greatest strength because you will do anything to protect her, including winning a battle you may not win. She will give you strength when you have none left. She will make you happy and give you something to fight for. I see, said Naruto as he turned back to normal. Naruto, your training is almost complete. All that is left is a ceremonially marking your finishing of the training, said Kyubi. It will also give you full rights as a summoner of demon foxes. When do we do that? Asked Naruto, knowing that soon he would be able to summon not just low-level demon foxes like Saido and Katara into battle, but the big boys like the Kyubi. He had to wait for that right until after his training was complete. Sunrise tomorrow, said Kyubi. That is when tradition says it must happen, and then you should be back home in the Leaf by midday tomorrow if you should please. It is, said Naruto. Meanwhile, near the border with Wave, a team from the Leaf walked. So why are we doing this mission? Asked Ino as Shikamaru and Choji walked toward the border. Our mission is to investigate Tenzin Daikoku, who is an highly connected politician but runs band of thieves who is attacking caravans on our side of the border, said Shikamaru. We need proof that he is behind it so that we can get official permission from the ruler of Wave to kill him. So what's the plan? Asked Choji. Well, Ino uses her mind transfer just to take over a person's body, and then walks inside and finds proof, said Shikamaru. That is very simple, said Ino. Does it need to be complex? Asked Shikamaru as they neared the castle fort of Tenzin Daikoku. I guess not, said Ino. We will begin the operation in the morning, but first let's scout the area, said Shikamaru. The next day, while Naruto was preparing to go through a ceremonial, Sasuke and Suigetsu stood looking out at a castle. They had found a helpful villager who had told them about Tenzin Daikoka having the sword, and then another helpful village told them where to find him. "Wow, that is troublesome," said Suigetsu as a huge group of soldiers go by on horseback. "Yes, there is another clan who is going to attack the castle," said Sasuke with a force in the thousand. "I see, I'll just sneak in tonight and steal the sword," said Suigetsu as Sasuke looked at the castle. "How about a wager?" asked Sasuke as Suigetsu looked at him. "A wager?" asked Suigetsu. Well, Sasuke, I never believed you would do something this playful. You're on." "Alright, first to get inside and get the sword wins," said Sasuke. "However, you may not kill anyone." "What?" asked Suigetsu. "It begins now," said Sasuke as he disappeared before reappearing in the center of the massive troop formation. The troops began to attack only to fall with easy. "Wow, I guess it does start now," said Suigetsu as he walked up to Sasuke just as he finished defeating the troops. Just as they finished, a massive amounts of arrows flew out from the base. Sasuke ran no hand signs before breathing out a giant fireball, destroying the arrows. After the arrows were gone, he disappeared, leaving Suigetsu by himself as another massive force ran out of the base. "Why are you not having him kill anyone?" asked Bilal as Sasuke appeared in a tree beside him. "Because killing someone is easy, but taking them down without hurting them takes skills," said Sasuke. "I see," hissed Bilal. "So that is why you told that human that they were going to be attacked?" "Yes, I want to test Suigetsu," said Sasuke as he watched Suigetsu do battle. "Very well," said Bilal as he watched. "I must say, for a human, he is above average." Meanwhile, in the demon world, Naruto walked into a well-lit courtyard. There were 5 stone pillars, 1 in each corner and 1 in the center. The ones in the corner had light torches, while on top of the center one sat a sitting stone fox with a scroll in its mouth. "Naruto, are you ready?" asked the QB. "Yes," said Naruto as he prepared to finish his training and get the mark of the fox. "Then all you have to do is take the scroll and become the first human to become our summons. To have the ability to call all demon foxes to battle," said the QB as Naruto looked around the outside of the courtyard. There were all the council members of the demon fox village. Slowly Naruto reached out and touched the scroll. The moment he touched the scroll, beams of light shot out from the outer pillars, hitting the stone fox, causing the jeweled eyes of the fox to glow. Naruto knew what to do. He took the scroll and bowed his head as beams of light shot out of the stone fox eyes, hitting him in the upper right arm. Naruto winced in pain as he began to receive the mark of the fox. Outside the temple, Kakashi and Sakura waited as humans who had not gone through the training, so therefore they had to wait. After about an hour or two, Kakashi was taking it easy reading his orange book, while Sakura was walking back and forth so fast that she was making a path in the stone floor. "Calm down," said Kakashi as he flipped a page in his book. "How can I be calm? Naruto-kun is going thought something and he isn't allowed to tell us what it is," yelled Sakura. "He could be getting hurt or worse." "I don't think they are going to hurt him much," said Kakashi. "Much?" asked Sakura. "Well, if it is like any ancient ceremony I have ever been to, it normally involves the letting of blood on some old knife as an offering," said Kakashi. "That is what I am talking about." "But still," said Sakura. "Don't worry, he will be okay," said Kakashi. "I am okay," said Naruto as he walked down the stairs. "Naruto," said Sakura as she rushed up and hugged him. Naruto winced in pain a bit at Sakura's touch. "What happened?" "The flesh on his back is a little tender right now, Sakura-chan," said Naruto as he turned around to show a new tattoo on his back. It covered almost half of his entire shoulder blade. The image was of a large blonde color fox with deep blue eyes. "A tattoo?" asked Sakura, confused. "It isn't just a tattoo, it is the mark of the demon fox. Say that he has finished his training and that he is able to go home," said Kyubi as he walked up. "But still a tattoo?" asked Sakura. "It's not unheard of for that to happen at a ceremony?" said Kakashi as he closed his book beside Sakura. "We can now head home." "Yeah," said Naruto as he tossed on his cloak. "I just need to grab some stuff." "At least we can finally head home," thought Sakura. Meanwhile, back in the human world, Sasuke and a new sword-carrying Suigetsu walked away from a destroyed castle. A moment later, the entire thing came crashing down. "So you were testing me?" asked Suigetsu. "Maybe," said Sasuke as he looked up and saw a team of people standing there. Well, this was unexpected. "What?" asked Suigetsu as he looked at the 2-man and 1-woman team standing there. Do you know them, Sasuke? You can say we know him, said the fat man as Suigetsu noticed that they had leaf headbands. So you're from the same village as Sasuke? Asked Suigetsu. Doesn't matter, come on Suigetsu, we have work to do, said Sasuke. We are not going to let you do whatever mission Orochimaru has you doing, said Ino as she looked at her crush. We are bringing you back to the village. Ah, but Orochimaru didn't give us a mission, Sasuke did after he killed him, said Suigetsu as Shikamaru's, Ino's and Choji's eyes widened. What? Asked Shikamaru as suddenly Sasuke's Sharingan eyes activated, but they were different, black and white commas instead of red and with black commas. Suddenly Ino, Choji and Shikamaru found themselves in a black and white world. Where are we? Asked Ino as she tried to move but she couldn't move. You are in my world, said Sasuke as all 3 of them found themselves hanging in mid-air. Now since I am in a kind move I will spare you, but tell Dead Last that as soon as I finish my correct task I will come for him. Naruto's dead, said Ino. Nice try, Ino, but you can't lie to me, said Sasuke as suddenly all 3 of them caught fire. After a few moments Sasuke turned off his Sharingan as the real Ino, Choji and Shikamaru fell to the ground. Wow, said Suigetsu. Let's go, said Sasuke as he walked down the road stepping over his former friends' passed out bodies. Miles away in a bunker the Akatsuki gathered. Itachi, what have you learned? Asked Pain. Naruto has become a summoner of the demon foxes, reported Itachi. I see, has he returned to the village? Asked Pain. Unknown, but I know he will return soon or at the moment the village needs him, said Itachi. Very well, said Pain as he looked at Haiden and Kakuzu move toward the leaf and test him. Ordered Pain. Zetsu, I want you to watch Naruto and study him. At once, said all 3 of them as they disappeared. This is going to get interesting, said Itachi. It was just after noon when Naruto, Sakura and Kakashi appeared on a hill just outside the Leaf Village. I don't understand why we didn't just appear inside Lady Tsunade's office? Asked Sakura. I want to walk through the gates, said Naruto. I want the villager to see me as I enter the village. Are you sure, Naruto-kun, you know what they may do to you? Asked Sakura, worried about what the villagers may do. I am not going to hide from them, Sakura-chan, said Naruto. Sakura, why don't you tell the Hokage we are back? Ordered Kakashi. But said Sakura. It's okay, said Naruto with a smile as Sakura turned and ran toward the village. The moment Sakura was out of hearing range he spoke up again. Thank you, Kakashi, now you go too. I guess you wanted to face this alone, said Kakashi as he placed his hand on Naruto's shoulder. Yes, said Naruto as Kakashi disappeared. You can come out now, ordered Naruto as Saido appeared beside him. I should have known you knew I was here, said Saido as he sat down. I thought you were going to stay in the demon world? Asked Naruto. I was, but then I realized that I would have more fun here, said Saido as Naruto grinned. Katara was driving you up the wall, wasn't she? Asked Naruto as Saido glared at him. I knew it. Well, we are going to scare the humans down there shitless when we come marching though the main gate, said Saido. That's part of the plan, said Naruto as he crossed his arms. I noticed you didn't tell the Vixen your real plan, said Saido as Naruto looked at him. I mean your plan apart from the getting rid of the Akatsuki and getting Sasuke back. I don't plan to tell her or anyone else, said Naruto. Not even your father knows about that goal of mine. I know, I just thought you may have told the Vixen, said Saido. No, there is no reason for her to know, said Naruto as his eyes turned red with slits. She like the Kyuubi would try to stop me. She would, stated Saido. Naruto, I may not agree with that plan of yours, but I understand why it needs to be done. Thank you, said Naruto as he ran, though the math in his head I only need 2 to pull it off. Yeah, said Saido. Now let's go scare the crap out of those villagers. Yeah, said Naruto as they started down the hill toward the main gate. This is going to be fun. It only took a few minutes for Naruto and Saido to reach the main gate. Stop right there, yelled an older Jonin as he ran up with a kunai in his hand. Is something wrong? Asked Naruto as the Jonin was joined by a flash mob of villagers, some armed with makeshift weapons. Yeah, demon, you're still breathing, yelled a middle-aged man as he ran forward with a crowbar in hand. Naruto just stood there as the crowbar came down, and then at the last moment he grabbed the man by the arm. The man's eyes widened as he tried to pull back or finish his attack, but the crowbar was going nowhere. "You seem surprised," said Naruto coldly as his eyes turned red and he glared at the scared shitless man. "The Naruto Uzumaki you knew, the kid who would let you beat him up day after day, is gone. I will die to protect this village, but that gives you no right to attack me or my friends. If you do, then hell will seem like heaven when I am done with you." When he finished, he channeled his chakra into his hand and snapped the crowbar in half. The man stumbled back, falling onto the ground in fear. "You're the son of the Kyuubi," cried the man as a huge wet spot appeared in the front of the man's pants. "No, that would be me," laughed Saito as the villagers noticed the black fox for the first time. "And believe me, Naruto would be kind compared to me or my father." "Now step aside before I make you," ordered Naruto slowly. One by one the crowd began to disperse. Finally Naruto started down the road toward the Hokage's building, evil glares being cast at him. However, they were no longer throwing rocks, bricks or worse at him. Part of Naruto hated doing that, but another part loved the fact that the villagers knew he wasn't going to sit back and take it anymore, and if he need he would fight back. Meanwhile, across the world, Sasuke, with Bilal wrapped around his neck, walked onto an island with Suigetsu at his side. "Why would you want Karen? She is a bitch," asked Suigetsu. "Because she has a very useful skill," answered Sasuke as he remembered the mission Orochimaru had him do with Karen years ago when they were on the hunt for some escaped prisoners. Flashback. "The 118 escapees are somewhere within these woods," said Sasuke. "I see," said Karen as she stood on a tree branch behind him. Sasuke watched as Karen closed her eyes, and only after a few moments she spoke up. "Found them," said Karen to the amazement of Sasuke, but in true Uchiha form he showed no emotions. And flashback. "Wow, the only thing keeping us out is a single metal door?" laughed Suigetsu. "Open it," ordered Sasuke. "Why do I have to do it?" asked Suigetsu. Sasuke's answer was simple. He just looked at the large sword Suigetsu now carried on his back. "Fine, I'll cut the door down, but she could have just opened it for us. She's got to know we are here." "She knows we are here, all right," thought Sasuke as Suigetsu cut apart the door and they entered the hideout. Flashback. "How many?" asked Sasuke as he looked at the knocked-out body of one of the escapees. "This one makes 84. Answered Karen. "Sasuke, why don't you kill them? You're so kind to them?" "Because there are only 2 people in the world I desire to kill," responded Sasuke as he remembered Naruto's face when he stabbed him, and then Itachi's face, "and I already killed one of them." As he said that, he began building up chakra as Karen started acting strangle. However, before he could do anything, he notices a group of escapees. Sasuke jumped up and quickly knocked out the enemies. However, as one fell, he hit Karen, causing her to fall as well. Waiting down below was another escapee with a knife. "Karen," said Sasuke as he jumped down after Karen. He grabbed her before pulling out his sword, killing the escapee before landing on the ground. Karen stayed close to him. "You did that for me?" asked Karen. "Without you, finding the rest will become difficult," answered Sasuke. And flashback. In combat, Karen is not that useful. She does have some medical skill, however her key power lies with her ability to sense chakra even at extreme distances, thought Sasuke as they turned the corner in a dark hallway. When they turned the corner, they saw a red-haired woman standing there. She had on a short pair of pants and a gray coat. Over her red eyes she had a pair of glass. "Hello, Karen," said Sasuke. Meanwhile, back in the Leaf, Naruto walked down the hallways of the Hokage building. More than a few people stopped and looked at him. Most seemed surprised to see him, while there was a rumor that Naruto was still alive, but few believed it. However, there he was with a black 3-tailed fox in his side. Naruto pushed through the doors of the Hokage's office only to come face to face with Tsunade. Sakura and Shizen stood on either side of Tsunade. Kakashi leaned against a far wall with his orange book in hand. "Hello, old lady," said Naruto. "Naruto, it's been too long since you've been in this office," said Tsunade, but before anything could happen, Haisha Hyuga stormed into the room yelling at the top of his lungs. "Tsunade, you have gone too far!" yelled Haisha. "You let not only the demon child in but the son of the Kyuubi into our village." "How is that a problem?" asked Saito as Haisha looked at him. "You're a demon," stated Haisha. "Your point?" asked Saito. "You humans can be just as evil as any demons." "I don't care, you are a demon that